Be semi-prepared because you can spot talent off of an unfinished product.
The Empire Podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Empire. And yes, we have another great guest. My name is Antonio The Miles, the host with the most, blah, 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 blah. And it's not about me. It's about our guest, of course. I was going to say actor, but maybe I can throw that in there. Can I throw actor in there?
I am actor.
Okay,
yeah,
we got actor.
I got some stuff going on.
Hey,
absolutely.
Actor, comedian, businessman, father, and so much more. And that gentleman's name is Adee McCovy. Welcome to The Empire.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Been looking forward to it.
Man, glad to have you. How you been, man?
Man, good. Blessed, bro. Like I told you, anytime you can wake up to see another day, that's all good.
Hey, man, how's your year been? How's 2025 been treating you?
You know what? 2025 started off slow, but it started to pick up. And I just think that I was so, like, kicked back, mild-mannered to the end of the year, it carried over. And you got to stay on the gas, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And in this industry, life, the new political year, you have to stay on the gas because if not, you'll get swept up.
Wow,
you know?
that reminds me, I'm not sure if it was Kevin Hart that said it or someone said it about Kevin Hart, which is like, you got to strike when the iron's hot.
You have to. That's why I said I let off the gas at the end of the year, just relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that because it's so hard to start it up.
Got you.
So that's why the beginning of the year was kind of slow, but now it's picking back up. But I should have had this traction all year. I should have had this urgency, you know what I'm saying, all year.
Got
But
you.
life's.
That part, you got a little too comfortable?
Life's.
Got you.
Yeah.
But is it okay to assume that relaxed time helped get you fueled back for the energy that you're using now?
It does.
Okay.
But sometimes you gotta, I grew up, in Watts. So a lot of times you gotta drive around on E. You have to drive around on E.
Yeah, with the light on.
Yep.
All too familiar.
Yeah.
Just way too familiar.
Yeah, I know it. And that's how life is though. Because every day you're not gonna have a full gas tank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If your car starts up, you get up in the morning, you have to take that as a positive and roll.
Amen.
Yeah.
I like to think, because right now that's kind of like, for some people, like a standard foundation, right? My tank's on empty.
Yes.
Right? I'm on E, I got the light on. But I like to think to elevate where my new bottom is my tank's on the middle.
Yeah.
If I'm making an example, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I just think that's kind of like a way of elevating self. Like, okay, I've always been, my bottom line is I've always been poor, right? Blah, 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 blah. But I like to think, okay, my new bottom line is, okay, 50,000.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like to think of things like that.
Well, if you don't think that way, you'll always think the lower portion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And your success is a mind state. Success isn't actually being successful. It's a mind state. Because if you're not prepared to be successful, what usually happens? You either lose it or you drop the ball. So if you're in a positive, successful mind state, regardless if you're on E, I can drive around on E and still look good because nobody can look in my car and see that my gas light is on.
Yeah.
So that's how I take life. Every morning I get up, whether I'm on E or half full, I have to treat it the same way.
It reminds me, I think someone said this and it was like, and I'll say God in this sense,
absolutely.
right? Like some people were saying like, people are like wondering why it took so long for them to get rich. And it's like, God didn't believe that you were ready at that time in life to be rich. In that time, you weren't ready to have that money to use it in the right terms.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminded me of when you're saying that right now.
Yeah.
You weren't ready.
It's true because if you'd had $20 million at 16, you'd had a room full of G.I. Joes.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Sticky G.I.O.
Sticky, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You'd have had a candy store. It all comes with wisdom. It all comes with the struggle. It all comes from the hard work. That's why when I tell you get up and you on E, you hungry. You can see the opportunities.
Yep.
When you full, you can't. When you full, you'll pass 37 fast food restaurants or 37 restaurants. But if you're hungry, you see every one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's how I look at life. Whether it's, I'm always a half full, glass type of guy. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're not ready for success, I don't know if it'll come to you.
That also reminds me of two things, and I don't know why. It's making me think of when the student is ready, the teacher will come.
Absolutely.
That whole saying.
Absolutely.
And also, I don't know why this talking about the money thing and guidance and being prepared is reminding me about the whole situation that was happening with Deion Sanders' son.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know why that's reminding me of this right now. I don't know why.
Well,
I don't know why.
The thing about Deion and the Sanders family, whether it be Shador, you know what I'm saying, or I think it's Shiloh, he's been preparing them.
Exactly.
So whether you think it's cocky or not, they've watched him win. If you've watched somebody drive to a certain location, you know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get mad because everybody is looking at their GPS and you just rolling because you know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a new person that's in town because they'll be in your neighborhood and they'll be stopping and going. You'll be like, okay, they don't live here.
Mm-hmm.
They don't live here. Anybody in your neighborhood, they zooming through because they know where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be mad at a guy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not their industry. It's they work in that industry. So it's bosses, it's owners, and it's a lot that went into that. And people won't. They don't talk about the power that Deion has.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the kids. It's the power that Deion has.
The father.
The father.
Mm-hmm.
If you do something to you, your dad is going to step up and don't let him be powerful or have a voice. Because if he has a voice, then he's going to voice his reasoning. Now it's going to bring more attention to what this situation is. The owners hate having to answer the media and the ticket holders and the shareholders. They hate to answer to them. Well, why aren't you playing him? He's better than this guy. So it just, they didn't want that scrutiny. Because you bring him in, you're going to have scrutiny, bro.
Yeah.
Because he comes with it, whether it be good or whether it be bad.
Yeah. He
come in and change the culture around. Now you're like, oh, that's the best decision I ever made. Yeah. But he can tank it fast too.
Yeah.
And the owners are more worried about him tanking it.
True. In my opinion, and I don't know the whole story or anything, but I think that the Sanders family is going to overall bring more good to whatever business corporation they work with. They're going to bring more money in. They're going to bring more. They're going to bring more.
I don't drink Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah.
That don't stop them from being rich, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That does not stop them from making money. It's not my preference. I can choose not to buy it. You got 31 teams that decided not to buy the product.
Mm-hmm. Are you more of a Sprite guy?
I'm not a soda guy.
Okay.
I'm an iced tea guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Arnold Palmer, type of guy.
Okay.
I'm on the, So we all have a preference. But if you have a preference to, you don't want to be outshined or you concerned about his arrogance or his confidence, then that's going to rub you the wrong way. Yeah. But if you want to win, you want to change the culture, that this is the new, bro, you gotta step up your game. Yeah. You can't have a rotary phone no more.
Simple as that. They're gonna bring. I think it's all a show, but they're gonna bring more money to whatever camp they're gonna get into. That's what I think.
He's built this persona, and the Sanders. Deion started it. He built this persona. Now, he went to a small black college. He took over a black college. Oh, well, that's good for him. He was fine there. He was fine winning in that pond. But when he jumped into where the big dogs at, and he won a couple games and he brought fanfare and he did it his way, now you hating on him. You can't hate on somebody that wants to do it their way. Yeah. Hey.
Or you can hate, but...
You can,
but the results are there.
You hired him.
Yeah.
I can't hire you to do my job. I hired you to do because you were qualified and I saw the vision of you turning this around. So if you come in and you fire everybody in the office, you better make it make sense.
Period. Ooh, good. Ooh, Adee, let's move forward. Let's move forward.
We
Let's move
good.
forward.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please like the video, subscribe, comment, all that good jazz. If you like what you're hearing so far. Adee, we start off with a good start, I think.
Yeah.
For people who may not know who you are and the things that you do, can you please let everybody know who you are and the things that you do, man?
Oh, man. Adrian McCovy, everybody calls me AD. I got different monikers, AD worldwide. Stand-up comedian, producer, actor, host, entrepreneur, in that realm. At any time, those titles could change. I'm one of the guys at the door is open. If you say, hey, I want you to run my ice cream company. Hey, I don't have experience, but trust me, I'm going to put, my heart and all in it. So that's what over the last couple of years, I've been transitioning in and out of, what I don't want to say out of comedy, but through comedy, using it for different entrepreneurships. And a lot of people come into comedy and they're just a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
You can go see them here. You can go see them there. They may sell a T-shirt. They may not sell a T-shirt. And they want to be Kevin Hart, right? If you're playing basketball, you want to be Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. So you don't knock that, But it's a lot of other successful basketball players, too, that didn't get to that level that's living great. So you have to, when I came into comedy, it was, of course, to take over a love that I wanted, but as I got older in the game and saw the saturation, because people never talk about the saturation in comedy. It's a million comedians.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your
A
grandpa
million podcast.
Hey, your dad thinks he's a comedian. Your aunt thinks he's a comedian. So the game is so saturated. So now you have to find a lane. If you're smart, you can stay in the rat race.
Yeah.
And hope, they pick. My daughter has a great saying. She's like, the women out here are pick-me's. Like, hey, no, pick me. Pick me. And I look at it like, if you're in the rat race of comedy and you're just a pick-me, you'll never get picked. Because a lot of these cats are good, bro. A lot of these cats in the game are good. So what I did was I was like, okay, I've been in corporate America for over 12 years. I've been to prison. Been married. Been divorced. You know what I'm saying? Have grown kids. Have kids that graduated from college. Have kids that didn't, my daughter didn't go to college, super successful. So I feel like I'm so well versed in life. Comedy is a platform for me. It isn't an end all. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm not, if I don't get to be Kevin Hart, I'm not going to feel like a failure.
Gotcha. You kind of use it as a tool, say, hey, this is one thing that I can do, but through this thing, check out the other things that I do.
Come on.
Am I on the right page?
You are definitely on the right page.
Okay.
Because it's an advertising platform. I'm a funny dude. I get up there now, I can take you somewhere else. I don't have to keep you in this comedy lane because life isn't just comedy. So my thing is, if I can get on stage and produce a great fanfare, and I'm going to tell you this right now, one thing that people can tell you is I don't have the numbers, but I have the reach.
What's more important?
The reach. You can look at the numbers, but the reach you can't gauge.
Yeah.
And the worldwide moniker puts me in different areas, put me in different cultures.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
And the numbers would mean like views, right? They're like
views,
right?
Followers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you want 200,000 followers and you don't get no response? Or do you want 10,000 and you can get 800 people to respond? You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, your 800 becomes whatever their community is. So the reach is, I look at it like the reach is different for me. My reach is more, corporate people can say, okay, well, he doesn't have these numbers. But once they meet me, they be like, oh, I want him on my team. How can I get him to, to move my product, or how can I get him to put my product in the door? We had the conversation earlier. I have a group of friends and family. If I'm ever anywhere and they need something and you're close to me and I know you work hard in this lane, you'll be in the room with me,
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you did music and I'm somewhere with an artist or something. Man, I'm looking for a feature that don't nobody. Oh, hold up. Let me call my homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold up. Let me call my daughter knows somebody that knows somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always the plug, the real plug,
Mm-hmm.
not the plug that you need to pay.
Uh-oh. You paying relationships.
You paying relationships.
Yeah.
If you had to pay your wife, would she still be your wife?
If you didn't pay her, would she still be your wife?
At the end of the day, you have to look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you first met her, did you, what was the price in that?
Yeah. What is it? Is it money? Is it energy?
There you go.
Is it attention? Is it
There
time?
you go.
CGA, shout out to you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at it like that, and my comedy has been my platform to diversify,
Mm-hmm.
um,
You mentioned, sorry, I didn't want to cut you
no,
off,
you're good.
but you mentioned pick a lane. Are there specific lanes that these comedians should pick, or is the lane infinite? Or the lanes
Well, the
infinite?
lane is infinite.
Okay.
Because nobody can say what could come out of you doing something else.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're, I'm a cookie cutter guy. I'm going to the major comedy clubs. I'm doing a couple off nights at these other spots, and nobody's picking you up. You don't have a sitcom. Everybody has a comedy special. Whether it be Amazon, whether it be in grandma's backyard, everybody has a comedy special.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you make yourself stand out? You have to do something extravagant. You got to do something, now you're about to sell your character.
Got you. Your integrity.
Your integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a funny dude. One of my homeboys had the saying, and it's super funny, is I'm a comedian, not a clown.
Hello.
I'm a comedian. I'm a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not finna get on camera in YouTube and slapstick. You're not finna hit me in the face with a pie.
Got you. Made me think of Krusty the Clown.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna be juggling in the bikini.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it for that.
Would you put on a dress?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm good with that.
No Big Mama's house for you?
Nah.
Gotcha.
Mm-mm. Nah, I'm cool. I mean, again, there's other people that will do that.
Mm-hmm.
People get mad at me because I said that Chris Rock did the wrong thing.
When?
When he got slapped.
Okay. What should he have done?
I don't think he needed to fight back, but Chris Rock is talented enough to diffuse the situation before Will got up to him.
Do you think didn't he say he wasn't really sure what was happening?
It didn't matter if you weren't sure. Then you'd be like, hey, Will, don't be walking up on me, man. It's still in the context of comedy.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You bright enough. You already know you just shot a joke at this dude's wife, regardless if he was laughing or not. When you saw him on the motion, you a street dude. You supposed to be from, you from New York. I talked to Tony. Tony wouldn't have let him, Tony Rock, his brother wouldn't have let him got up on him like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I tell people, and I don't want to rehash that because that, that's dead and that's old.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about it in context.
Yeah.
How do you perceive yourself? Where's your character? Where do you end up at? I can't tell my daughter to go to school and not defend herself. Not in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
So in this day and age, I can't tell her to go defend herself and now get slapped on national TV and don't defend myself. How can I come home and explain that?
Yeah.
I don't care what you say, Dad. This is not what you taught me.
Yeah.
You can dress it up and put a dress on and say, oh, this is how you pay for your schooling and stuff like that. And I felt like that, at this point, Dad, we got enough money.
True.
Man,
it makes me want to talk about the Chris Rock thing. I know we leave. And I'm thinking, the hindsight 2020, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what was going on in Chris's mind during this live event. We don't know if he was thinking about the cameras and, we don't know. We don't know what was going on in his consciousness at the moment.
He
at
knew
that
he
moment.
was a man up there.
Yeah.
You never forget you're a man.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care what's going on in the world. I know I'm a man. I don't care if I'm on E, on full. I know I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
No job is worth my character,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And maybe that's why I haven't made it.
Well, quote unquote, right?
That's what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But it's just, like I said, it's certain stuff that I won't do. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Well,
you
that's
know,
respect. That means you can sleep well at night,
man, I sleep great.
right? Drew on the pillow.
I sleep great. You know, again, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
so many different lanes you can take,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, in comedy.
What's your lane?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I keep moving every day. My lane is to build a better me every day I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Try to stack bricks, you know, so then that way I can have a strong foundation if God drops this load on me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can hold it.
Got you. You can bear it.
I can bear it. But if I don't build these bricks and take these chances and take these losses, then I won't be prepared for when it comes to me.
Got you.
You know?
Lessons, not losses.
Lessons, not losses.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, we'll get into it right now. You mentioned that you do other businesses. What are some other businesses that you do?
Well, probably about 10, 15 years ago, my daughter's favorite shoes, they're Air Force Ones, the all white joints, you know what I'm saying? And when they first started learning to drive, I would have to clean the white shoes. I'm the sneakerhead. So,
Okay.
Dad, here, clean the shoes, you know, blah, blah, blah. So they kept putting these white shoes with the dirty heels on them, you know? And I had caught that long time ago with my shoes. The driver right shoe always gets dirty. So I came up with a product called the Heel Shield. Me and a business partner, we came up with a product called the Heel Shield.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Patty.
There we go.
When you drive the car, the mat, it's not dirt on your shoe. It's ink from the mat because you rub it, and then the ink adheres to your heel. So you can't clean that like you can clean the front of dirt or the dirt on the side because that's ink. You can't wipe ink off that easy. True. That's why it's always, a scrub. So I created a product called the Heel Shield. We put it in the transition, got patents on it. We're distributing it ourselves. I have a website, buyheelshield.com, where you can go pick that up. So I just, I'm a creator too. So if I see something, I'm like, oh, okay, let me see if I can jump in this lane.
Cool.
And, have that going, is still going. Working on Shark Tank.
Okay, an idea for Shark Tank?
No, I have this idea. This Heel Shield I want to put. I want to go to Shark Tank.
Okay.
To see if we can blow it up.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So Shark Tank takes a product. You have to have a product. They're not buying ideas. You know what I'm saying? So I've manufactured it. You have to show it. Show the usage, show how it works, kind of show the numbers.
They want the numbers.
They want the numbers. But the good thing about it is, even if they don't see the numbers, their job is to see where they could push the numbers.
Yeah, the
if
vision.
you can see where you can push the vision, that's what I want to buy.
Gotcha.
I don't want to buy it high. I want to buy it where I can kind of manipulate and put a twist on it. That's why I'm coming to you.
Yeah. Do you think Damon would probably be the best shark to go to for it?
Oh, you know what? I really think that it's who has it close to the same vision.
Okay. Or they can see your vision for it. Okay.
If they see, you know what? I see that. And I just see he doesn't have the capital to push that. You know what I'm saying? And the visual is great. Great packaging, easy to use, lightweight, low overhead. So, I think that's it's a good.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. It just needs to be in the wind.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? And so been pushing that for a couple years. Hasn't hit where it needs to hit, but I think it just needs a little bit of a push. These tariffs kind of put me in a pickle. Luckily, I captured over 10,000 units, so I'm sitting on inventory.
Okay, you got the inventory. Okay.
I got the inventory.
Beautiful.
To be ready to go, which 10,000 still isn't enough, but if you push off, you do have something to send out.
Gotcha. It's better than no inventory.
Better than no inventory, or trying to get it built to facilitate.
Yeah.
And then I started working with Cal Dental.
Mm-hmm. I was going to
Young,
talk about them.
oh yeah, man. Young dental company. Well, I don't want to say it's a young dental company, but their CEO, James Jones, is a young mixed nationality guy. He's black and Hispanic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he can touch a wide range of people. Took a liking to James. Me and James met and kind of hit it off on some marketing and some comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So then he saw my base. He saw my reach. And he was like, hey, would you be willing to do a couple spots for me? And let's see what we can produce.
Mm-hmm.
It took off, bro. So they brought me in as the regional marketing manager.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? So
Cool.
now, that's a tedious job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because now I have to go past my reach into a field that I'm not familiar with. Dentistry has never been my field.
Yeah.
They still working on my grill. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's the product that you have to push out.
Yeah. I like
but
how
it's
that
been,
rhymed.
Yeah, it's been a great ride. And again, I have a vision. So when I put the vision down, now they go, man, I didn't think about it from that perspective. Yeah, because that's not a perspective that you're in. I can't tell you about podcasting because I've never done it. I've been on a couple,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to tell them my story. I'm not seeing how to cultivate, how to line up the questions, how to make it intriguing,
Yeah.
How to make people watch,
Yeah.
I probably could push it, but
There
it has
we go.
to be a good product. I have to look at it and go, okay, I see a lane for this.
Yeah. I F with it.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So seeing Anthony's podcast, shout out to Stone,
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is good. So when you reached out and he vouched, I was like, oh, this is where I need to be then.
Okay.
Let me jump on it. Because, again, it's a different reach. Now I'm pushing out. Now Cal Dental's going to see it. They're going to see me talking about them. You know what I'm saying? Patricia Lunis, which is my business partner at Red Crown,
Yep.
she'll see that. And we can push. We can push.
Yeah.
The
more the better.
The more the better,
The
man.
more eyes, the better.
That's how you do it, though. That's what
Yeah.
I mean by don't use your power just for what you think it's worth.
Okay.
I have a vision, to do dental conferences, to create more products. So does that make me not a comedian?
Yeah. No. I used to say that we're not one-dimensional people. We're multi-dimensional people.
Do we live in one dimension?
Yeah. We're not just one thing.
No.
You're
No.
not just one thing.
No.
And I was going to say this question for later, but since we're on it,
Yeah.
like, how did you know that, a sponsorship or partnership with like dental was a good fit for you? How did you know that it was going to be a good fit?
It's a feeling.
Okay.
Oh, tooth feeling. You know what I'm saying? No.
Mm-hmm.
When I got with them,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a vision. You know what I'm saying? I knew people that I could reach. I knew the problems that I had with my dental. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where I didn't address things. Both of my daughters and sons' grills taken care of because of my faults. Hey, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do that. But again, we don't learn that, from lower income families because we don't see the dentist like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just saw a lane, and it's not, and my thing is more preventative. I don't care about the straightening and the stuff like that. But if you keep your teeth healthy, I don't care how they look. You know what I'm saying? You don't lose them. So I just looked at it at different lines, and then to be able to talk to people, and I'm just a people person, so it lined up. The transition was easy for me.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
I like the. I think it might be a new moniker for you. It's like it was the filling.
Yeah, it was.
I think that might be a
know
new
what I'm saying?
moniker
Yeah, that's a good one. And
Yeah.
I pick them all up. At the end of the day, I could put that on a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, with a tooth. I designed the badges for a dental conference for us.
Mm-hmm.
Now people walking up going, "Hey, bro, that's fly." I put Jordan in some. I put we did a sneaker convention, and I put a tooth in some Jordans.
Okay.
With, he had his toothbrush with the tooth in the Jordan. So now it's attractive to the kids.
Yeah.
So you have to, if you're not in the dirt, in the mud, you won't see this.
Yeah.
but somebody can bring it to you and you'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. But you can't cultivate that idea if you're not there.
Yeah. And you can't get AI to do it either.
You can't get AI to do that.
Yeah.
You can talk to them, they can get close,
Yep.
but it won't look like
Yeah.
what you want to look like. You still got to put your tweaks in, because that's why AI says, give me more information.
Yep. The true creative genius comes from within.
Yes.
It comes from again.
Yeah.
Adee, I'd like to go deep here, like, the abyss, like, some people's breath. And we want to, if you can share with us a brief story about where you grew up, how you grew up, all the way up to the great man you are today.
Ooh. Bro, it's so crazy that, that you say that, because we were talking, me and my daughter were talking yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it was like, Dad, I can't wait for your book. And when I look at it like this, when do you start writing your book? You can't write it when you're dead. So do you start writing it now? Then you feel like you're leaving out stuff. So I grew up in Watts.
Quick to answer your question, as soon as the instinct tells you to do it, or when someone else tells you to do it, that's when you should do it.
Well, people have been telling me for a couple years
well,
now.
Then you're late.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But I look at it like I can't write the book and I'm not finished.
Well, there can always be a continuation. Yeah, there can be a continuation.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. And I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you put that on me today. So we're gonna work on that. And then I'm gonna come on and talk about the book.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Watts. What I'm saying? If you don't know where Watts is, it's near South Central Los Angeles. Most people know where Watts is.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar with the Watts Riots. I have my Watts Riots jacket on right here. Blessed. Grandfather and grandmom came from the South. Had great roots, interracial relationship. So when we moved to Watts, my grandmother, and grandfather bought the house in Watts. Watts was white.
At the time?
At the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the early 50s. And don't get me wrong on the dates, but I think it's the early 50s. I should have this down pat, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So grew up there, dual parent home.
Mm-hmm.
Pops did get incarcerated in my late teens. So grew up a happy kid, bro. Was able to live in the house. Both grandparents lived in different areas. So my grandmom lived in a certain part of Watts, and then my dad's mom lived in the Knicks and Garden projects.
Okay.
So me being the only child, where am I going? I'm going to where my cousins are. And most of my cousins were in the projects. So being the only child, do I want to hang out over here or do I want to go with my cousins?
Mm-hmm.
So even though it was
at grandma's house.
At grandma's house.
Okay.
Yeah, we popping. Everybody. My grandmom had 8 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine, my dad has 7 brothers and sisters. I think he's 8, so 7 brothers and sisters. So they had kids. That's where I'm at, And then when I get tired of my cousins, then I can go back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I was blessed to be able to maneuver like that. Gang activity was high growing up. Super high.
What year are we talking about?
We're talking about late 70s through the 80s.
Okay.
Super gang, super drug infested. But basketball was my key.
Okay.
Great basketball player.
What position?
Different, because I started growing. So, I started off as a power forward, went back down to a shooting guard, went up to a center when I grew 2 inches. So I bounced around, but was always had a very high skill level. I was athletic.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of helped me through. When you play basketball, it alleviated you from gang activity. And I don't know who can attest or who's been through it, but if you grew up in the hood and they knew you had a game, basketball game, football game, whatever, they would nickname you that. Oh, that's basketball. Oh, that's football. You know what I'm saying? Whatever neighborhood it is. Oh, that's football cuz. That's basketball blood.
Yeah, that's chess cuz.
That's chess cuz. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's gymnastics blood. So at the end of the day, it helped you navigate. I got homeboys that got, that died. I got homeboys that got 100 years. You know what I'm saying? I've tasted the penitentiary. So, you look at it like, it helped me navigate. You know what I'm saying? Basketball kept me alive, because if not, what do I'm bright enough and smart enough to know to make decisions, but you are almost a part of your environment. And I tell people that if you've never been, I had a joke where I say I'd never been across Western. It's people in the projects that now they've probably ventured across Western, but 20 years ago, 30 years ago, cats wasn't leaving what they weren't familiar with. You know what I'm saying? So was just able to navigate that through sports. Sports took me and let me see a lot of stuff. Played basketball in college. That went decent. Didn't go as well as I thought it would, because I was incarcerated from 90, right after high school, till 90, the end of 95. So I did 5 years in prison.
Yeah. So what happened?
Got caught up in the streets.
Got you.
Got caught up in the streets.
It caught up to you.
It caught up to me. The funny part about it was it wasn't drugs.
Okay.
I can't say it was drugs, because when you sell drugs and you implement them into your life, whether you smoke them or you sell them, you still bring on the problems. And had a nice vehicle, pulled up, some guys wanted to rob me. At this point, I grew up in the neighborhood, so I'm always
strapped.
I'm always ready. And they tried to rob me, and I ended up discharging a firearm.
Got you. Protecting yourself.
Protecting myself. That's what we call it. That's not what they call it.
Well, they see another number.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and then when you run my background and you see who I am, you have a chance to save me. But that's not what we're here to do.
Yeah, I make more money off of you inside than outside.
Absolutely. So went through that. Ended up, like I said, doing a little bit over 5 years. Got out with basketball dreams.
Okay.
Because again, when I was incarcerated, I never quit believing. I never quit believing. I was writing letters to schools that I didn't even have a chance to go to. I'm writing Duke.
Nice.
I'm writing North Carolina. So when they deny me, anytime you file for a credit card, if you fill out a form right now for a $20 million AMX, it's not against the law.
Yeah.
When you send it in and they deny you because you don't have the proper business line or whatever it is, they have to send you what? A denial letter. Being in prison and getting 2,400 denial letters makes people go, well, damn. These schools, want this guy, whether they deny him or not, they know who he is. You know what I'm saying? So, I kind of set up a dang, hey, this kid, was good. So when I got out, I got a chance. I had two coaches that took a chance on me at Citrus College. Went there, balled out.
In Azusa?
In Azusa.
Cool.
Yeah, balled out. Ended up going to school in Missouri and played there.
You want to give the coaches a shout out if you remember their
No,
name?
I ain't giving none of the coaches.
Okay.
No yeah. They know who they are. Yeah.
Okay. Continue, please.
Yeah. So
Missouri.
Yeah, so we out there, we do the thing. It didn't work out my second year. So I ended up leaving, but I'd already had my bachelor's. You know what I'm saying? So I got my AA, my associates in prison.
Okay.
From University of Laverne. Shout out to Laverne for that, giving that opportunity. So then you get out, and at Citrus, I meet my ex-wife. We have a kid, Mariah, which is my oldest daughter.
Okay.
But I had a son at 14, so I'm
Wow.
kind of jumping through.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
we skipped that part of the
story.
Yeah,
because we got tied up.
Yeah.
I had him at 14 and a half.
Okay.
So
the pull-out game was not strong
at all. I had a magnet on my stomach. You know what I'm saying? So you look at it like, okay, had the kid young. We say it takes a village. My grandmom and mom and her mom and family help. Take care of Adee. Make sure that he was good.
He's a junior?
He's a junior.
Uh-huh.
Junior. So then go to prison, get out, we reattach. I'm still running around trying to make this dream come true. Ended up getting ready to go play overseas. The first assignment was Bolivia, but they were having civil war.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is in the 90s, right?
This is in the 90s. So that fell through. Just started still working out, taking odd jobs. Wanted to go play in Argentina. Ended up being able to do that.
Sweet.
Come back, get married, start working for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Did a number of jobs, but Enterprise Rent-A-Car was the one that stuck.
Okay.
So worked for Enterprise for over 8 years. Worked my way up to, like area manager, where I was overseeing 2 branches and a satellite, making good money.
Yeah.
I bought a house in Upland. We had bought a house in Upland and sold that one to move to Victorville.
To get a bigger house.
To get a bigger house and get out of the little debt that we were in. Because we sell this when we pay off all the debt, get a bigger house, revamp. You know what I'm saying? So me and the ex-wife had a great plan, put it together. Relationship was rocky, that didn't, wasn't successful. So we ended up divorcing. I think that was 2004. Still work for Enterprise, get tired of that, and open up my own insurance brokerage.
Cool.
Best Buy Insurance. So I'm a partner in Best Buy Insurance. So start doing that. We had a company function where Explorer was an insurance company that wanted to sell us some products. So they take you out to dinner, to smooze you. They had we went there and they had karaoke. So, we had some drinks. So me and the reps, we're doing karaoke. And one of the guys, Sean Burns, big shout out to Sean, comes up and says, "Hey, we got comedy Monday." And I was like, "Oh, I've always wanted to do comedy." So now the girl's like, "Oh, yeah, you got to come back and do it." So he said, "Yeah, come back Monday. I'll give you 3 minutes and, we good." So I tell some of my buddies, of course, they pulling up. I pull up on the Monday night. It's 20 of my people here. In comes Anthony Stone. He's the host. Bam. So we talking, blah, blah, blah. I get up. I'm supposed to do 3 minutes. I ended up doing probably 7 or 8, with laughs. So that was the bug that started the comedy journey. And I've been on it now for about close to 16 years.
Got you. 2 decades is right around the corner.
2 decades is right around the corner.
Got you. Never going to stop, right?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why?
It's healing.
Your dad don't stop telling jokes.
Yeah, it's healing.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And it's always a gateway to something else.
True. I had it's a good gateway drug, I guess you could say, depending on what your vices are.
Vice is, yeah.
2 things that came to my mind, and it's, if you don't mind sharing, is what, if you and your wife had a plan, like, what happened that made that plan fall off? Like, what happened?
Life.
Okay.
A lot of times we do stuff and you're young and you don't understand what the finish line could be. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if the knowledge that I have now,
Could give to your younger self?
I could give to my younger self in that situation, we'd be flourishing. One thing about me and my ex-wife was we worked. You know what I'm saying? We knew how to maneuver. We knew how to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Okay, that type of thing. Okay.
That type of thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We knew how, hey, you on E, but you got about 7 miles. You know what I'm saying? And that's a shout out to her. Raised my daughters great, co-parenting, but of course, they resided with her. But, at the end of the day, that's what I tell people now. You can't sweat the little stuff no more, bro.
Yeah.
One of my jokes is when I say, "Hey, who's been in a relationship longer than 20 years?" And everybody go crazy. I say, "Okay, who's been in a relationship less than 10 years?" And they, make noise. And I said, "Stay in that relationship. Because it ain't nothing in these streets, bro. Especially if you've already made a connection with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Build on that.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think people give up too
We
soon
give up.
in
Yeah, we give
relationships?
up.
Got you.
Yeah, the phone makers give up.
Mm-hmm. The
Now it's
false
too much. The
sense of
false
yeah.
reality, the false sense of gratification.
Yeah.
That's it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, I get so upset with AI, and I'm not a big fan to use it. But at some point, you have to
Period.
keep up.
Got you.
You know?
Is getting remarried an option for you?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. That's a real big commitment. And I'm 50.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are set in stuff. You already got a family. These people, it's a lot of things that it would be hard for me. I could have a partner till we were,
Okay.
till we were done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not out here, single crashing parties and stuff like that, because I don't even go out like that.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now to where, hey, if we can build together, but you never know. I'm not gonna say I never will, but I don't see it in. I don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whoever I'm with probably don't need it either.
Yeah.
Because that's the type of energy that I draw.
Got you. And we're talking, and I guess mostly you're saying like, you don't want to get into a relationship where we get the government involved with making this marriage
Let me tell you
certificate and all
something.
that stuff.
That's the downfall of a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really feel locked. And people are scared to be locked.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they love each other, they still scared to be locked. And that's the bad part, because where are you going?
Yeah. It's so interesting because I'll give a shout out to Fabs. She's a spoken word artist, and she was saying, she's like, I don't really see myself ever getting married again. She's like, I think it's bad luck.
Wow.
He said, she's like, I think it's bad luck to get married. She's like, I
because you actually are. I mean, we can be superficial and say we put another person in the relationship, which is the court. You know what I'm saying? But you can accomplish the same things not married.
Mm-hmm. Without the title.
Without the title.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. California, if you've been in a relationship over 8 years, you're married.
Yeah.
You're considered as common law.
Yeah. Especially if you live together, right?
You would have to sue to get separation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you with somebody that long, why we don't need to do that. I mean, it's ceremoniously. If somebody wants a ceremony,
yeah,
hey,
that's cool.
I want a marriage party. Let's have a relationship party.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? So again, that's nothing but an adult prom.
Yeah. Keep the government out.
Keep the government out.
Yes. Hey. I want to get kind of back to comedy.
Yeah.
Right. And we surf and we go around places here. We have fun. Is true comedy dead? And this is in connection to like
good one, man.
Yeah, this is in connection to like the saturation.
That's a good one. I don't think true comedy is dead because it's still true comedians. We've sped up the game so fast to where, just being on the phone and going viral, we think that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
You got comics that don't do that are hilarious, bro. So it's almost to the point to where, we're oversaturating with like skits and quick clips,
mm-hmm.
but it's the art isn't there anymore. So those that still carry the art, it'll always be a spot for them, but I don't know for how long.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because I don't want to say this, the skits and stuff like that are watering the game down,
mm-hmm.
but the attention span we're losing the attention span.
Gotcha.
So somebody with the art is not a quick, you can't get soul food from McDonald's.
Got you.
We've never had a Big Mac soul food.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to come in and bring substance, people don't want substance. I want to be able to go through the drive-thru and get Starbucks or get McDonald's and push on. You know, I don't want to get there and you gotta warm up the greens. You gotta cook this. You gotta do that, and the plate. You know, going to Big Mama's house, I gotta find parking. I gotta get out.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go talk to my cousins. You know, for you to get the substance.
Yeah.
And people don't want that no more.
Got you. Do you think? Well, I guess my opinion is I think people do crave substance. It's just being able to find good substance within this river wall tsunami of saturation, right? So it's kind of hard to find good substance.
We all want substance, but we do want it quick.
Gotcha.
So you're not gonna dig deep. You're just gonna go a couple layers. Okay, that's enough.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So you'll never get to that dude right there.
Got you.
That dude right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead.
So it's my job as a comedian, producer, to find this guy and try to elevate him up to a different level so that even if you dig, you can find him.
Got you. He's more visible.
He's more visible.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I've been yelling, Ant Stone, that's my guy. I done had comics say, hey, bro, why you put him on?
Why?
Yeah. There's a lot of haters in this industry, bro. There's a lot of relationships in this industry. That's what I should say.
Okay. Oh, man, this is taking me to... Damn it. We're going to go there. Shit. Okay. So I believe it's Godfrey that talks about it the most, comedian Godfrey.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that, and maybe you can tell me if this is wrong, maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah.
He's like, there's a lot of hate amongst Black comedians.
It is.
Is it just Black comedians or is it just all comedians in your opinion?
We only know Black comedians. We don't know if Seinfeld is fighting with Robin Williams. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
We don't know if that's going on because we only can talk about what our community is and what we see in our community because we're not in their community. It could be some beefs over there, but
it's not public.
But it's not public, So because a lot of that moves is business moves. We don't concern ourselves with business because we don't look at it as a business.
Yeah, we're in our feelings.
We're in our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I catch myself in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just everybody else. I catch myself in them.
Mm-hmm.
When I see somebody, I feel like you didn't have to do that to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And we're heavily opinionated and we speak on it. And I don't want to say that's the problem because that's what we've been, but they may not speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have a beef, but they won't
make it public.
They won't come here and tell you what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But one of the things about us is we feel like this is the only way to get out.
Is it the crabs in the barrel mentality?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I feel like the only way is that door, me and you gonna fight to get to that door, right?
Mm-hmm. Especially the building on fire.
Yeah. Instead of saying, look, bro, let's line up, let's build this wall, and you know what I'm saying, let's go.
Stronger together.
Yeah. But we don't think that because we think that something, we've witnessed people stepping on another person. So you think that person is trying to do that to you, even if they aren't. You know what I'm saying? So it's bad in our community. To be honest, I don't even watch other specials. I don't even watch other comics when I'm at the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't want to implement what they're doing into my subconscious.
Yeah.
People don't understand how strong the subconscious is.
I heard you speak on that before.
Yeah. If you see something and it was good, your brain will retain it. And then it'll come out in another avenue and you'll think you created it.
Yeah.
And it's only so much you can talk about in comedy, bro.
True. Unless it's your story.
Unless it's your story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to push on.
Yeah. And it's so funny because Damon Wayans said the same exact thing. He doesn't listen to comedy anymore.
Junior or
Senior. The original.
My guy.
Yeah. He said the same exact thing.
My guy. Never met him. One of my favorite comics.
You'll meet him soon. Ooh, the Spirit's telling me this year. You'll be meeting him this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm listening to Spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're putting it on me. And that's good because at the end of the day, when I see people, I approach them and I don't have a problem giving people flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. You know what I'm saying?
While they can smell them.
While they can smell them.
Mm-hmm.
I like for you to smell, hey, bro.
Got you.
You're like, oh, man.
Yeah,
because you know what? That gives a different energy. That means I didn't come here to take from you.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we always doing? Covering our homework.
Mm-hmm.
Which is right because it's your answers.
Yeah.
But if you can help somebody else out, hey, bro, what's number 7?
Got you.
You didn't say what's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hey, bro, what's number 7?
That's all I need.
That's all I need.
Got you. What's X plus Y, man?
I'm not going to be like, well, you should have been studying. Miss Crabtree,
Yeah.
that's, again, you got some that do that.
True. I have a little pushback on the, and this is just my opinion, about not listening to comedy anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, in order to become a comedian, you were listening to comedy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I guess another thing that I would think about is that I was listening to an interview, 2001 interview with Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, Michael, do you still listen to music? And he's like, yes, I listen to everything, as much as I could possibly listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I guess the aspect that I look at it from is kind of like being aware of what's happening among your contemporaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then creatively just expressing that way. But that's my only thing about it. It's just
I understand that.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones didn't have to put out a single song with him singing.
But he wasn't a singer.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't have to.
Yeah.
So I don't have to watch them to have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm in the game. I know the cues. Whether I sell 1 million views or 5 views, it'll be what my perception is. I know I'm easily influenced.
Got you. You know yourself.
I know myself.
Yeah. You know yourself.
So you stay away from that. Hey, you know what? Hey, bro, I'm trying to lose weight, but them donuts look good as hell.
Stay away from
me.
me.
So you gotta know your deal. And I really don't like to implement ideas of. I like for people to be like, oh yeah, that's straight him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I saw this. Nah, because there's no way you can say that. And you can take mannerisms, you can do stuff like that. But again, that's not you.
Yeah.
So you literally studying to be somebody else.
Subconsciously.
Subconsciously.
Yeah. And I see where you're coming from. I think the best way you answered it is that you know yourself.
I know myself.
Yeah. Because my opinion is different than
his.
Yeah.
So you mean it? I mean, again, we sit up and use monikers that we didn't create.
Got you.
And the flattery, they say flattery is the best form of, appreciation or compliment.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Like I said, with me, I just choose to go in a different direction.
Yeah. I respect your method.
Yeah.
I respect your method. I was going to say about the true comedian, and I'm glad I remembered the guy's name. I believe his name's Tony Woods. And many people don't know about this comedian, but I remember I used to watch Comedy Central when it was good.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I used to watch it when it was good. Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was a time and era I felt like when, and people could say the same thing about hip hop and music in general, like where there was an art to it, there was a craft to it, and you had to your contemporaries were good, so you had to be good. And so I remember watching Brian Regan, falling in love with his stuff, and Tony Woods, and was it Greg Giraldo? Just these comedians' names, and that many people know. But I was like, man, these guys are just hilarious. And now it's just like I'll turn on YouTube, maybe 1 out of 20 comedians are good. I turn on Netflix, same number, and it's just like.
So does that discourage you from turning it on?
It makes it, well, since I love comedy so much, I force myself to keep searching.
Okay.
Right?
But that's where I tell you, we need people to elevate some of the good ones.
Yeah.
That won't have the numbers.
Or the reach.
Mm-hmm. Because if we keep going with who has the reach, they're on repeat. They call it algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have rhythm.
They got Aldo.
Mm-hmm. Which is AI's brother.
Hello.
So, and I don't want it to seem like I'm hating on the guys that have figured it out,
Yeah.
But me and my platform, how I work, is if I did, I would make sure that it was somebody that I liked or, that I knew had some fire. I would grab them.
Yeah. This makes me think about, and maybe you can tell me since you've been in the industry so long, about the term gatekeepers.
They there
Okay.
all day,
Okay.
all day.
Okay. Okay.
It's gatekeepers in everything, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
that's how I think. I always think I was like,
how can I stay relevant?
Okay. Yeah.
Filter out the real talent.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what a gatekeeper is, right?
Supposed to be. Right? But you could just be hooking somebody up because they just know you, networking, right? As opposed to actually being
what
good.
What did I tell you? I said the relationships.
Yeah.
And it works all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it be a gatekeeper or not, if it's going to be a gatekeeper and I can't get in, I'm going to dominate where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create something else where, okay, bam. Oh, you stopped me at this gate, but you ain't going to stop me at that gate.
Got you. And you can just become undeniable. They have to let you in.
Yeah, you like, man, we ain't stop this dude. Just let him in.
Yeah.
Just let him in. We can stop the rest of them because they don't have that energy.
Mm-hmm.
They
that
don't.
drive.
They want to. What are they doing? They staying in that lane.
Yep.
You can gatekeep me from this lane, but you can't gatekeep me when I jump out and I get into a plane or you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to. That's why you have to be multifaceted. Then you can come back around to, oh, I didn't know you were a comedian. Host this show for me then.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm looking back at the gatekeeper. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to reinvent yourself. I don't care. I don't even know the number of times you have to, but you have to continue to.
Got you.
We don't wear the same clothes every day.
Yeah. So, and when I think about reinvention, I always think about maybe also like evolving oneself.
Yeah.
Is that another way to look at it?
Yeah. The only thing about that is evolve is revolve.
Okay.
So if you keep changing, when it comes back to what you really were, you're going to miss it. Right?
Okay. Hopefully not, but
I know, but I'm just saying. You can evolve and switch and change some stuff, but if you change too much, okay, I play this set of lottery numbers every time.
Okay.
Soon as I change them, they call them numbers.
Yeah.
What you gonna explode?
Mm-hmm.
So let me just do this and do this. Let me play 2 tickets.
I like that.
Because these are my numbers.
I like that. Going back to comedy, I wanted to. What was I going to say about gatekeepers? There's something else that's something about gatekeepers, but it makes me think like these. Anyway, I want to go into these terrible comedians I've been coming across, but
no, yeah,
I'll leave that go.
This is one of the things that
my opinion.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. You have an opinion.
Yeah,
you're a purchaser.
Yeah.
So I can purchase what I want. I can say I don't like this milk. I've purchased it to try it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deny you of that. Your taste buds may be different, but the thing is, you understand what the mechanics are.
Yeah.
You know this is a game. Everybody don't win. It's 32 teams. All 32 teams in football haven't won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's only a few that keep winning.
Mm-hmm.
They have a formula.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Connections.
Yeah.
They know how to draft. They know how to pick.
Yeah. I heard something really interesting recently about some teams don't even care about winning. They just care about the sales, the merch sales.
That's my team, bro.
Right. They care more about the merch sales.
That's my team. I have 2 teams that I can say are guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan and a New York Knicks fan.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughters clown me because they have not won a championship since my kids have been alive.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you still rooting for them? Because I'm solid.
Mm-hmm.
This is my team.
Yeah.
What joy can you get? It'll be no deeper joy than when my team wins. Because I sat in there.
Mm-hmm.
I grinded with them. Even though they were making bad decisions, I didn't turn my back on them.
You're loyal.
I'm loyal, you know? And at the end of the day, both of my teams are the most expensive teams in their categories.
Hello.
The Knicks this year are balling.
Okay.
And again, when we roll back to my moniker, Adee Worldwide, the Knicks didn't start winning until they brought in Worldwide West, which is where I got my moniker from. So like I told you, you know them, but you don't know them. You've heard them in Jay-Z's songs. You heard them in Drake's songs. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the Knicks said, look, I'm tired of losing. I'm losing. We have the money. Why don't these guys want to come here?
Yeah.
It's because it's a bad culture. They changed the culture. Now they're getting the guys. So they're on the upward spiral. Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. That's not a great culture. It's not a winning culture. They feel like it's a racist culture. So only the guys that are staying there are the ones that they've drafted.
The newbies.
Okay. So if you my dog and you doing this and you doing that, I have to defend you because we're the same brand. But when I leave, then I don't have to defend you. I can say what was really going on.
Yeah.
But if you're the most richest franchise losing, what you care about winning for?
It's about the money in the end of the game, right?
It's about the money.
Yeah. We can make a ring.
We can
buy a
make,
ring.
yeah.
We can.
It's the ring that I make is better than the one that they give you
that
anyway.
part, right? Let's make a ring for how much sales we got.
It's not like the Super Bowl is $100 million for everybody. The Super Bowl is like, I think, 25,000 or 50K.
Got you.
They smoke that in weed, bro.
That's part. Dang.
I know, you want to have Super Bowls, but if I don't, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to come back next year and make more money.
And try again.
Oops.
Yeah. Hey. I want to go back to comedy, right?
Yeah.
I guess this is a two-parter. What's the importance and what's your technique for reading the room?
My life experience. So when I come in there, I kind of know what people are. I can see what people are real quick. So I know, what can work and what won't work, or what to say and what not to say. So I was with Bill Bellamy this weekend. It was a middle-aged crowd. So, motherfuck you, shit, damn, asshole is not going to work.
Okay. Shout out to George Carlin.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to work here. Because now everybody clutching their pearls. And now they're not even listening to what you're saying. Shock value can work both ways. You could say one thing and it twists them. Now they could care less if you're funny or not because they've already had an assumption. Some people will write it out. Most people won't. That's why the internet is so popping. Quick hits. Quick hits. So you have to read the room, see people. When I first started, crowd work was frowned upon.
Yeah. Now it's a thing.
Yeah. And I look at it like, okay, I can shoot the dozens for an hour.
Yeah. Don't have to know material.
No material?
It's easy.
Oh my God, look at that hat. The cat in the hat. And I'm not saying that everybody's good at it, because some people, are good at it. But if you were real good at concentration as a kid, you should be able to do crowd work.
Yeah.
Because crowd work is a lot of experience, a lot of previous things that's happened to you, a lot of things you've watched. Oh, he looked like Trey Songz. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now if you know who Trey Songz is, you turn around and he looks familiar. Wow.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at the end of the day, people are, oh, he's so funny. He's blah, blah, blah. It's not funny to
someone from Wyoming or something.
Or it's not funny to us anymore. Right? If you know where the joke is going, then it's not a joke anymore. You can be, oh, that was clever. but you're not, it's not funny.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
love
saying?
jokes that are misdirection. I
Yeah,
love
but
'em.
see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the part about being a comedy connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can't watch a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I see where it's going already. You're not going to watch a show that you know the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to watch a basketball game that I've already seen the final score.
Yeah. Watching the 96 Bulls game.
Come on. Oh, yeah. They got a chance to beat them.
Yeah. They're coming back.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Watch Jordan. Oh, he made that?
Wow.
That's what I mean. So,
Mhm.
a lot of people are like, oh, well, I watch study comedy. Well, that's cool. It's not entertaining for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Why is it important to read the room?
If you want to be successful, if you want laughs, if you don't want to laugh, you just want to tell your story, then you can just go up there and say whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to lose a lot of them. Nobody going to follow you.
Yep.
You can tell by after a show if they liked you because your followers go up. I don't judge it off my set, bro. I don't judge it if I killed. I judge it off of how many new followers I got after the show. Whether it be 3, 5, because I count them in thousands. Oh, I got 2, that's 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's 4, that's 4,000. That's how I count them.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got 2,000, I did all right. If I got 5,000, I was balling tonight. But you already know that. Because sometimes you know that and then people still don't follow you. So now the followers are the meat of it. So when you get off, you done did your poetry or whatever you do, and people following you, then you'll know.
I want to take you back in time for a second, okay?
Okay.
So, what you need to do is close your eyes, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, let's go to an age, maybe you're 10 years old, maybe even younger, okay? You're indoors, and you smell something. First of all, where are you? Where do you see yourself at right now?
It's funny. I'm in my grandmom's house, my mom's mom, my nana, and I smell bacon.
Gotcha. and with that bacon, she's making one of your favorite dishes.
Mm-hmm.
What is she making?
She's making bacon, eggs, and toast.
Gotcha. And what's around you? What else do you see around you?
An old floor model TV. It's probably cartoons on, but I'm playing with some type of action figure while I'm watching the TV.
Gotcha. Cool. Just wanted to go back in time with you for a second.
Yeah, man. That's my nana. I miss her.
Gotcha. You want to give her a shout out?
Yeah, shout out to nana. She's passed, but she in here.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was one of the most anybody that knows me in comedy, that really knows me, they've met my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma pulls no strings.
Mm-hmm.
She don't care. I got some early videos with her from Louisiana, Winfield, super small. People don't even know where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Strong lady, man.
Okay.
Super strong.
Matriarch.
Yes. Yes.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the weirdest places you've done comedy at?
Ooh. The weirdest. I think we did a laundromat.
Okay.
I think we did a laundromat. I think we did a laundromat in Victorville.
Gotcha. They hired you for the gig.
No, I found it.
Okay.
I've produced a lot of shows. I've put more money in some of these comics' pockets than Russell Simmons, The Laugh Factory. If you ask comics, they'll tell you I've been paying them a long time, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. When I came into the game, I didn't actually come in. I came in wanting to do comedy, but I was chose to run another room because the guy saw me when I started and he liked the energy. So I started running another room, and that's what kind of put me out there. So Anthony Stone was already hosting this room, but another guy was in there and saw me and took me to another venue, and we did it on a Thursday night when Anthony Stone's was Monday. So it put me more in the producer role to know, oh, this is how much they're getting paid, but this is how much he's getting paid. Because I always want to know. I've been a businessman, so I want to know who's making the most money
Yeah.
here?
Where's the numbers going?
Where's the numbers going?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, anybody that says, "Oh, well, they only pay me this," that's what you negotiated, bro.
Got you. Ooh, so how do you make good negotiations? How do you know your worth? How does someone do that?
You have to fail. Like me, bro, it's a certain number if I'm doing a private event. If I'm doing a private event, it's on how I feel, what I investigate about. You know, if I'm doing the Laugh Factory and stuff like that, they have a set amount, bro.
Okay.
We can't negotiate that. You're not a big name. Because the big names usually don't do those clubs anymore. So if you're doing, let's say if they put you on for a weekend, you can make good money. But if you're doing an off night, you're doing a promoter show. So if you're doing like a bringer show, either you're getting a door deal or you're getting a percentage of the door or however that works.
Gotcha.
So I saw that early. So I said, okay, well, if I put together a show and I create a budget from the location or a sponsor or anything like that, then I can disperse the monies out however I feel. I'm going to always win because I produced a show. I'm the one that put the most risk and factors into it.
Up front.
So I'm supposed to win,
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, you only paid this, or, you get some comics that'll say that. I'm like, look, bro, you're going to do this show one time. I want to keep producing this show. So I can't give you all of the money.
Yeah.
Because then you just leave. You don't come back. You don't put nothing back into the show.
Yeah.
You don't do anything like that.
You're not loyal to me.
You're not loyal to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I give you $100 or $120, you're only up there for, at the most, 15 minutes.
Yeah. That's a good day. It's a good day's work.
Line them up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad at me. And even the guys that get 50 and 75, where are you at in your career?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's still based upon funniness and experience.
Mm-hmm.
You can be funny as hell, but if don't nobody know who you are, you're not a draw.
Mm-hmm. And the reach is where it's at.
What do we say?
Yeah, the reach is where it's
the
at.
reach is where it's at.
And I was going to say this question for later, but I'm going to follow the instinct. And correct me if I'm wrong, but did you ever mention that, you see your future maybe stepping back more from the comedian role and stepping forward more in the producer role and making more production
stuff? But that's
stuff?
how it's always been.
Okay.
But you can't be a producer without learning.
Without the experience.
Without the experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been creating these films. I've been producing these smaller shows to where my lineup and my vision is, okay, I got some buddies that are in great places.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to a point to where I say, hey, look, I got a line on Cat Williams.
Okay.
We know he can do this, and I'm just using that as a name.
Yeah.
And that it may not even have to be that high.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this and I'm doing this. But this is what we need in capital.
Up front.
Mm-hmm. So now they can go, well, Adee, what do you know about producing?
Check out my record.
But they know this.
Mm-hmm.
I've done their birthday parties. I've done their corporate events. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that track record is there. It's not just a performer. And no knock on people that just perform, but that's not my end game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I want to do dental conventions. It's $15,000 for a speaker at a dental convention.
Mm-hmm.
This is my lane.
Yeah.
Okay, gatekeeper, you can keep me out of the comedy lane.
Boom.
Oh, well, he ain't never been that funny. Oh.
It's all because the man got feelings.
Come on, bro. Your girl said, your girl liked the picture. It's a lot of little beefs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Your girl liked my joke. Your girl followed me on Instagram. Now you mad at me?
Oh, it'd be like that.
Oh, yeah.
That petty?
Bro, it'd be
that petty? Wow.
Bro,
insecure?
This is petty Eddie.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and that's in every lane though.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
that's in every lane.
But that shows a lot of insecurity though.
But that's what these guys are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. To stay in it and learn and take the knocks and find your lane. That's why I told you when I started seeing where the money was coming in, I said, well, the money ain't in this if you're not on.
Period.
If you're not Dave Chappelle, you might as well be John.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You just might as well be a regular cat. But okay, if I can be funny and then transform it into, working with kids and then they see it Now I'm doing that. This Saturday, I'm doing LA Unified's wellness, health and wellness event.
Cool.
It's 5,000 people there.
Cool.
I speak in front of them. All you need is somebody to see that and laugh, or I like the way he handled himself. Hey, bro, we got this event coming over here.
Yeah. And it's so cool how one event opens up a door for some more events and just ripple effect.
Start creating.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to be at home and create content and get money from Instagram and stuff. Everybody's not going to get money from them, bro. But we all can. That's what they're going to tell you.
I guess more room for the people out there getting it.
But my thing is, if you don't try and see where you can tweak it and jump in the lane and kick up your deal, then you're just going to keep doing the same.
True.
Doing the same thing.
True.
And that's how I look at it. Take a chance.
Yeah, might as well. You only live one life.
You only live one life.
Yeah. Do you have a name for the production company?
Red Crown Products.
Red Crown Products.
Yeah.
There we go.
And it's Adee Worldwide. So you're going to always see Adee Worldwide. That's in everything, whether it be sports, whether it be dental care. I got a couple new lines coming out on the dental field.
Nice. Why the name Red Crown?
I'm a red king. My neighborhood was red.
Okay.
I'm a king.
Okay.
Red Crown.
Gotcha.
You put it together. And a lot of times it's not derogatory to anybody else or any neighborhoods or anything like that. No. Red is my favorite color. I feel like I'm a king.
Yeah, simple as that.
Red Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple as that. Put it together. Adee Worldwide. One of my buddies needed some stuff for his mom. He didn't live in town. Hey, can you get my mom this? Yeah. Refrigerator. Done. Hey, man, my mom's so-and-so and so-and-so. Can you do that? Yeah, done. He's like, man, you like Worldwide West. You Adee Worldwide. Locked in. Because I respected Wesley's moves. William Wesley, I respected his moves. You don't know about him?
Got you. It's so interesting because I think I was thinking about this morning. I was like, okay, worldwide, I get it, connected worldwide. And I was like, man, it would be kind of cool if he would have been like AD throughout the galaxy.
AD Universal. So we were talking about it this morning. You know what I'm saying? He was like, bro, you AD Universal. You know what I'm saying? But again, don't we gravitate? Don't we rotate? At the end of the day, how many names does Shaq have? Dang. Shaq Diesel, Shaq-alicious, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's the DJ, so the thing is, whatever you can connect to that's going to work for you and be successful, bam.
Follow it.
Follow it.
I love it.
Yeah. Don't be scared to lose, bro. We always scared to lose.
That's a good point. I actually have a chapter in my book called Failure Has to Happen. Because in order to succeed, you have to meet some failures in order to get there. And everyone that we deem successful in life has had what we call failures or whatever, right? Has anyone ever thought that you're not black? Or do most people think that you're black when they meet you and see you and deal with you?
No, I think they know I'm urban.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But the thing is how you show them.
Okay. Okay.
To work my way up through Enterprise Rent-A-Car, which is a good old boys company.
Okay.
I did it. I've got to the glass ceiling. I knocked on it. I was like, "Ooh, this is real." All right, well, let me get back up out of here so I can figure out how to get around the gatekeeper. Because the gatekeeper is stopping you from going in that lane. It's not stopping you from succeeding.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? If you let him stop you from succeeding because it's a gatekeeper there, you already lost.
You've given up.
You've given up.
Ooh. Dang, it's reminding me of what I listened to an interview with, is it Jimmy Jam? Yeah, Jimmy Jam, the producer. And he said at the end of this interview, he was like, you may hit a wall, but all you have to do is take a step back, look to your left, there's a window. Look to your right, there's another door. It's all about perspective, something along those lines.
No, that's a great one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if we fell through a hole of ice and we looked up, we ain't just going to keep banging our head on this. We're like, wait a minute, we fell in here. This water got in here some type of way. You know, it may not be easy because now you getting out of breath,
Yep.
but you already know you can
Yep.
get over there. And with that will and endurance, you're going to get there, bro. You know?
Yes. Another thing I wanted to ask is, do you have any comedy dreams? Like, I know you know production is all the way, but do you have like a specific comedy dream that you would like to reach and do?
Ooh. I think me not really being focused on that helps me.
Can you explain?
When you focus on an end game and you don't achieve it, it kind of sets you back because you're like, oh man. But if Nip says something and I want to switch it into that,
Yeah.
he didn't have an end goal. He said, I'm going to keep going till I figure it out. I'm going to keep putting out music. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to have some type of achievement where I have to get up there and speak in front of a group of people. Because that's when everything that you've been through overwhelms you and you finally pour it out. Because being celebrated at that type of level lets you know that everything that you struggled through was worth it. Whether it be 10,000 people, 5,000 people, or 500.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you because you know that you've accomplished something. So it doesn't have to be a big goal for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my thing is being able to live, enjoy life. I don't need to be rich because I'm already rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So to have an end goal, I think that would make you lazy.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I guess in this form of this question, it's not like really an end goal, but like it's like a goal, like a check mark. Like, okay, I definitely want to get this done before I leave this earth, type of thing. Like, I definitely want to.
Maybe I'm too naive. Maybe I didn't set a goal.
Yeah.
What if I didn't set a goal?
Yeah, you just living as it goes.
You just live it as it goes.
Yeah. Oh, but you did mention a goal about the dentistry. You want to perform a dentist convention for 15,000.
I don't think that'll happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you getting up walking, you didn't question that.
Yeah. Can we do the same thing for comedy though? Can we say the same thing for comedy though? A comedy goal?
It's no goal.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's not like this is my goal. This is where I want to be. I don't know.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know. I just keep working.
Got you.
Maybe I'll hit it and it'll overwhelm me and say, dang, this is probably what I've been working for.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it helps me not having that type of weight on me.
Okay. The pressure.
Yeah, it not having that type of pressure, because I think that's what fails a lot of careers.
Mm.
You know, because what you start doing is you start measuring up with your counterparts.
Mm. Yeah.
You know, they're at this point. Well, man, why am I not at this point? Now you're pushing. Now you're going to do something that's out of character.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I've never, one of my buddies was asking me the same thing, bro. And he was like, well, what is it that you want to do? I don't know.
Mm.
I keep creating, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I keep transforming. You know, I don't know what the end goal is. Maybe that's not, like I said, maybe that's naive of me. Like, man, this nigga don't know where he's going.
Yeah. And I don't think it's such thing as like because when you say end goal, it makes me think like, okay, reach it and I'm done.
Yeah. You know what
I'm not
saying?
thinking about that. I'm thinking this is like, it's like checkpoints, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, maybe I want to perform in Dubai for a sheik. That's one of the goals I want to do in life.
But see, the thing about it is,
You know?
I haven't created that.
That's what I'm saying.
So this is what I'm saying. So
yeah.
so I don't know. Again, am I naive to not have set a goal?
No. In my opinion, because where I see you going is that, and the way you explain it is kind of like, I do comedy every day, all day, and I'm always grinding towards comedy, and whatever comes out of it is what's supposed to come out of it.
Man, that is the truth. I'm talking again. I have this conversation with one of my guys that I kind of mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the next, Kevin Hart. I said, okay, that's cool. You don't want to be the next Kevin Hart? I was like, nah. What?
Yeah.
Nah. He was like, oh, okay. I see you haven't been pushing on your shows and stuff like that. Yeah, man, that's not, but you see me grinding over here with Cal Dental. You see me putting out orders for the Heel Shield. So I'm working.
Mm-hmm. I'm not stagnant.
I'm not stagnant. Maybe I'm not blowing up in comedy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm blowing up.
Mm-hmm. I'm building other arenas.
I'm building other arenas.
Yes.
Maybe you building one house. I'm building 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it may take me a little bit longer. But when you finish your 1, I'm going to be halfway done with 3.
Yep.
Now you're like, damn. When you get finished with the second one, I'll be done with 3.
Yeah. I'll be working on the other 3.
I'll be working on the other 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So then I'll be able to hire you to help me build this one.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to hear that you hire me.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you mentioned. It's so interesting that you mentioned that your student, right?
Yeah.
Your mentee.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and maybe this has always existed, even more so now, is that people want the fame. They don't want to do the hard work. They want the fame so bad, but they don't want to be good at their skill. They don't want to be talented.
Yeah.
Do they even have a passion for it? That's another thing. Like, do you have a passion, or do you just want to be on?
Yeah.
You just want to be on.
I mean, the thing about it is I love comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I love entertaining people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I love the job of entertaining people.
Yeah.
I love to see people happy. I feed off of the
Energy.
good energy.
Yeah.
It pushes me along. I'm like a pullback car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for me to be able to just, come into work today and people, bro, when I first started working I started working for Survival Insurance, and we would do over 200 cold calls a day, bro.
Fun.
We in the big arena, like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
We in there, you're making calls, fuck you, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what the language is. I'm
good,
sorry.
good.
Yeah.
You good.
So I'm in the office and it's dead. So I pick up the phone. I have nobody on the phone. Well, tell that nigga to come up here then. I'm right here. Everybody turned around and looked. And I was like, oh, ain't nobody on the phone. Everybody erupts in the office. They laugh and, you know what I'm saying? They cry. So now the whole office needs my energy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I don't come to work, they calling me, bro, you ain't coming in today? I said, no, this is my day off. You want to be that person that lights that fire. You want to be that person who, like, anytime I'm around this dude, I'm getting gems or I'm having fun or he's pointing out what's good about me.
Yeah.
The
vibe is right.
The vibe is right.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the vibe. Even my daughter, she'll tell you when she get mad, she'll come in like, Dad, come here. And then we get to going back and forth because you have to sharpen your weapons.
Yeah.
If you my friend, I want you to succeed.
Period.
It's a great podcast, bro. Go jump on it. Well, what it pay? It don't pay nothing. What did it pay for you to be at the Laugh Factory watching a bum comedian?
Uh-oh.
Nothing. How are you helping somebody, bro?
Mm-hmm.
What have you done today to help another person?
Mm-hmm. What'd you do this week? What'd you do this month? What'd you do this year?
What you do this year?
To help somebody.
And it don't have to be monetary, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You could have got somebody out of a situation mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You made them think different. You let them know that it was going to be all right. Man, this happened all the time. You're going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't think so. But now that somebody else told them, they can move on.
Yeah.
So I just like to be that positive energy, bro. And like I said, as far as being the best comic in the world, I'm not going to be that.
Yeah.
And I don't strive to be that.
Yeah. You know yourself.
I strive to be impactful.
Hey, which is probably more important a lot of the times. It made me think too when you said, like, you come in and everyone wants your energy. I think it's also really important as people that are positive and energy givers to make sure that, we protect our energy and make sure that we around people that's also going to help fill our cups because we can't give energy. You know, we don't want to drive on empty for too long. We got to fill up the tank.
You have to at some point.
You know.
Yeah.
It's good.
I have a friend that I met, and I have another group of friends that are super cool. You know, they entertain and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can go over there and refill. So I invite somebody over. We watching the games, we laughing and talking. I see them in the kitchen, and they got one of my friends in there. And they're Debbie Downing.
Oh.
So I have to go in and rescue and be like, hey, look, check this out. This is not what we do over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever that is, you came to leave that here to come over here and enjoy and worship and fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And recharge your battery, bro. I brought you over here to recharge your battery.
Yes.
Bro. And I was like, oh, man, I can't even invite them back over.
Oh,
they
okay.
cool with them.
Okay.
But I don't, that's not
for you.
That's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't bring nobody in here that's going to break your mic.
Got you. Wanted to know if you'd like to play a game with us.
Let's go.
Yeah? Okay, it's called Memorable Moments.
Uh-oh.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a drawing here.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me, what do you think is happening in this drawing? All right?
Uh-oh. Okay.
Got you. It's no nudity.
I told you I was good at concentration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you can let us know what's going on in this drawing, or what you think's happening.
Ooh, that's Michael Jordan hitting the jumper in 1992.
Yeah. Flip it over. Tell us what it says.
Making a free throw. Wow.
What does it say?
Making a free throw in the 1992 LA City Championship game. Who is this? Who is this?
Does it say who it's by at the bottom?
I can't read that.
I think that's Tyrone. Holiness. Yeah.
Tyrone Holiness. Dang.
Yeah.
How'd you get this?
So he drew it for us.
Oh.
Yeah. So I wanted to know if you would be interested in doing us the honor and drawing us a memorable moment that happened in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Alrighty. So.
That's hilarious. I know T. You know we went to school together, right?
No, I did not. Now we do.
He went to Fremont with me.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Tyrone Holiness.
Yeah, that's why when you looked, it was like 92. I knew it wasn't me because I was gaffled up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That's hilarious, the connection.
Destiny. We don't fight it.
Wow. So what are we doing?
So you're basically drawing a memorable moment that happened in your life, and it could be anything. You could take your time with it.
Okay. That's crazy, Tyrone.
Okay. Small world.
Yeah, them was my young guys. Them was my young dogs. Yeah. I think he went to Manual 2 first. Then he transferred to Fremont. That's crazy.
Small world, huh?
Yeah. I thought maybe you had, but once I saw 92, then I knew it wasn't me because it said City Championship because I played in a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, who told him this?
That
You know what I'm
part,
saying?
yeah.
That's why I was like, who told him this?
That part, you
Yeah,
really did an
hold up, man. You
investigation.
did, boy, you a cold one.
Oh man. Adee, thank you for playing, man. Thank you for playing.
Yeah.
What's one underrated comedian and what's one overrated comedian?
Ooh. Who's an overrated comedian? That's almost like hating. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. I got you. Yeah, I know it's kind of
because we work
question.
hard to get to this spot.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying? So who's rating?
I guess it's your opinion.
You know,
but
because it's an opinion. It's
Yeah.
opinionated, but my opinions are swayed based upon I know you had to put the work in to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Who's knocking hard work?
Mm-hmm. No,
You know
Not
what I'm
me.
saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
not me.
we do have an opinion, but maybe that's why I don't watch comedy, so I'm not opinionated on them.
got you.
You know what I'm
Got you,
saying?
yeah.
So that's half of the reason that I don't, because if you my homeboy and I have love for you, but you trash,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we can skip the question. We can skip it if you feel better.
Yeah, that's not. I
Yeah.
mean, because I feel like that's putting down the craft.
Yeah, low key. It's kind of like I guess because
if you have that type of opinion, again, I'm a glass half full type of guy. So when you look at that, you know, I put that along the lines of, you know, snitching.
Okay.
You know, I'm a big, you know, not snitching type of guy.
Yeah.
Especially if you put yourself in that situation. You know, with that, I like these guys worked hard to get here.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I would be able to say the most underrated is Tony Roberts.
Tony Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
That name sounds familiar.
Hilarious. Once you watch him, but again, it's genre of comedy. You know, so it's hard to be. You may not like this type of comedy, but 20 million people do.
Gotcha.
You know, crowd work, I'm not a big. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's popping.
I think because people are self-deprecate. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's how you feel. Now, I could say Tony Roberts, I feel like he's the most underappreciated. Yeah. You know, and he's been in the game a long time too, and he hasn't popped. But we were having this conversation in the green room with me, Bill Bellamy, and some other, you know, top-notch comics. But to say they were overrated, I'm like, bro, you can't be overrated if you got there.
Okay. Got you.
You know?
Got you. That's a respectful answer. Answer. I was going to start dropping some names, but
you can't do it. Yeah, I mean, even for me, that's hating.
Yeah,
even
I respect it.
Even if I don't like your style, you got there.
Yeah, I respect it because I used to say I come from it from the same thing from like a lot of rap artists or music artists. It's like, man, like I don't like their music. I don't think it's that good, but they made it. And I always like to tell people, it's like, you know, I may personally disagree with it, but I believe that everybody deserves what they have.
Absolutely.
What they have. Everyone deserves what they have.
Give you a quick story. 2008, I want to say 2008, I'm not for sure. 2008 through 2010. Top Dawg from TDE is a family member.
Okay. Of yours?
Of mine.
Okay.
So they coming up to Victorville. Punch, which is my little cousin, but he's still, you know, family. All of them, you know, he's the president of TD. You know how that works. So long story short, they're coming to Victorville to do a show. So they get up to Victorville. Top won't get out of the van until he has all the money. So once he gets the money, then J-Rock comes out, Kendrick, and I think Ab-Soul was with him at the time. So we go in, they doing the concert. Ab goes up first, Kendrick goes up, and I'm like, come on, rock. You know what I'm saying? So J-Rock get up, J-Rock kills. So I'm sitting over there in the booth, and I've never put this nowhere else. Top goes, this who you put the money on. And I'm like, that ain't, J-Rock is it. This ain't it. Kendrick is unknown. It's no limits to where he's at now. So again,
Top had the vision.
You see what I'm saying? But I saw what I saw. I saw what I liked. You know what I'm saying? I saw what I was familiar with. You know, I wasn't familiar with this rap or this, you know, this style. Okay. You know, his perception of, you know, how he told the stories. And I was already stuck on this, but that's what I mean by within comedy. People can say that this dude is the, you know, oh, he's pop right now, but this dude is the anointed one. He's going to make a smash. He's going to hit. Okay. And that's why it's so hard for me to say that, oh, this dude is it or this dude is not it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've witnessed it in 7 different genres come to, you know, fruition. You're like, oh, I didn't even see that.
Gotcha.
You know?
Man, I guess I'm just on this, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I guess I'm on this train of like, if it's good, it's good.
We can't say that. You know? I watched the movie 3 times before I caught it.
What movie was it?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
I watched it. I said, this is stupid, bro.
Okay.
And I was just, It was just on in the background. And Uncle Rico said, I'm going to throw this football over that mountain. And when he said that, I said, man, this ain't no real movie. This is, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was in the wrong mode. I had the wrong glasses on watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But when I put the glasses on, it was hilarious.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times you don't know. Maybe you haven't caught something on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I know, I mean, again, if it's a genre that you've studied, you pretty good at it. You should know. But I just, I've been wrong a lot of times.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like, hey, I got to wait to see what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's my little disagreement. Because I just believe if it's, I think there's certain things that'll catch you right off the top. Like, man, this is, it resonates with me right off top, right? And there's certain things that's like, people keep talking about it and like, okay, let me give it a chance. I don't get it. Let me give it like, it has to grow into you. But I'm a firm believer in like great, good art never dies in whatever arena it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I can agree with you. Like, it took me 5 times to get onto Friends, the TV show Friends. I was like, I don't know what's so funny about it. And then I think after 5 times, I was like, oh, I get it.
I get it. And I haven't caught on to it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like Game of Thrones.
Okay, Game of Bones.
I watched every series. I just never, it was when I wanted to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Kanan, it's on tomorrow. I'm watching.
Mm.
And I do have a vested interest because one of my buddies is an actor.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's also like this, this is what I like.
Yeah.
It could be, Friends is a great movie. I mean, it's a great series.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't my type of comedy. Or I haven't watched it enough for it to grab me.
Yeah.
So
to grow on you.
Yeah, to grow on you.
Yeah.
But they making $20 million an episode. Did somebody like it? Right?
Right connections.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it is.
Last thing I wanted to say is that I also, going back to like the gatekeepers, right? There's certain people who like, okay, like we have these 2 artists, but as the person who has the, let's say the network.
Yeah.
I like this artist more, so I'm going to promote them more. And you guys are going to, since you see them more, like we talked about it earlier, since you see this person more, you're going to like them more, even though they both had an equal chance of getting seen. And maybe one was better than the other, but since me as the gatekeeper, I can push the one that I believe you guys should listen
Absolutely.
to and know.
Absolutely.
Which I think is very interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you got to look at it, the gatekeepers using numbers too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if he likes you, if you don't have the numbers, he can't push you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you have the numbers, you know what I'm saying, you have the vision, it's almost like it's the safe bet.
Got you. Or I can shape you into what I want you to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or I can shape you.
Absolutely. Or that's what I'm saying. So if he's the point to where you can push him a certain way and it's beneficial towards you, because the gatekeeper is only doing it for benefits.
Why else would they do it?
Why else would they do it?
Yeah.
So if you're not beneficial to him, until you can find some, the gatekeeper can find some value.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to show the gatekeeper your value.
Yeah.
But now you're reaching.
Yeah.
And most people don't like when you reach. That's like a dude keep coming by you every day. Hey man, when you gonna put me on the podcast? Hey man, when you gonna put me on the podcast?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Now what do you do? What are you doing for me to want to put you on the podcast?
But how do you separate? See, this is making me think about this, like Adee, like how do I separate, I guess, quote unquote, begging from someone who's just like persistent?
Yeah.
How do you separate that too?
It's hard in this era because now everything is big. It's tough.
Yeah, as opposed to someone who's like, man, this person's like really driven and he really wants to be a part of it.
That's why you have to be the beacon. That's why you have to be able to speak about somebody when they're not in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have to beg you then.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I've already presented them to you.
Okay.
Instead of him waiting outside for you to come outside, I'm in the room already. I know a plumber.
Got you.
I know a TV guy.
I know a chef.
I got a guy.
Got you. I got someone.
I got a guy worldwide. I got a guy.
Yeah. AD throughout the galaxy.
There you go, bro. I mean, that's the whole point. And the gatekeepers is scary when you put a face on them, it gets scary.
Mm-hmm.
People know who. I mean, we say gatekeeper, but the gatekeeper don't have a face.
Yeah. It's just
that's the
title.
worst thing.
It's just the title.
That's the worst thing.
Mm-hmm.
We can fight an enemy if we can see him.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't see him, you don't know where he at.
That part. It's like a phantom.
It's a phantom.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let the no-face gatekeeper stop you.
Yeah.
Because he don't know where you at.
True.
Now I'm winning with I'm the no-face guy.
I like it. Yes. I like that. You have to be creative to succeed out here.
You do, man.
Ooh. Oh, yes. Thank you again, Adee, for doing this, man. I really appreciate you, man.
Bro.
Hope you're enjoying yourself, man.
I'm having a blast, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't wait to push it out. Because these are great questions. This is a lot of stuff that, people don't know. Some people know it, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just catching me now with, like I just got over this past weekend, like 50 new followers.
Hey.
That's big for me.
That's 50,000.
That's 50,000. You see, that my followers are in dog years.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my daughters have way more followers than me. But it's different content algorithms or, whatever goes on in that.
It's easier for women.
It's easier, and you look at it like this. They know they was like, look, Dad, you only got this, but we know your reach is.
Mm-hmm.
This person know you. This person ain't that your dad. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So you look at it that way.
I love that. Can you speak on the impact and the importance of these two people?
Okay.
The first one is Patty,
and
the second one is Anthony.
Ooh.
I don't have to say their last name. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We'll start with Anthony because he was the first one, into my life to help mold my career.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say mold my career, is he was a guy that, so he saw talent. He knew I wasn't sharp. But he knew that I had it. He didn't know what it was. He knew I was a hustler. He knew that one spot wasn't going to stop me. He knew that I was going to create a lane.
Mm-hmm.
He've always known that, hey, who's going to not get stopped, bro. If once LeBron get the ball moving, you're not stopping him.
He's a big man.
It's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, our relationship became like that. And I saw talent in him.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken this tape to Top and sent it to Top plenty of times.
What'd Top say?
Never responded.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? But also, I've taken other people's with already some steam to him, and he never responded. Top is, he likes it. Top does it totally different, bro.
Okay.
Which is cool. But my thing is, for me to take Stone stuff and send it over that way, let you know that how much I respected the music.
How much you fuck
respected
with
the
him.
talent, how much I fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to keep the bombs down just based on, this is going to go to some of my corporate people.
Oh.
No, you're good. But again, it's not a lot. They don't care about that. But my thing is, he was great. Improv was great, crowd work was great, setup was great, delivery was great. That's why he was, he's a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the origin. So he knows the wordplay. He knows how to set the room up. He knows a lot of that. Him being urban, him being smart. Bro is smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
He just got his master's.
Yeah. Congratulations.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I put the post up. I created a flyer for him.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that?
Someone who loves you?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I continue to believe in him. Great father. We've ran the streets together. So to know him, on the streets and know him as a father is great because you can see I don't want to say the transformation because it's always been there because, he was a great father to his first two kids to see him blossom into another relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a family man, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care what he rap about, whatever. That dude is a family man, and I love him for that. You know what I'm saying? But we've run the streets for a long time. We've been in the same circle for a long time, and I've always elevated him, and I always will. That's Anthony Stone. That's my dude.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Anthony.
Yep.
And then also the impact of Patty.
Patricia Lunas, man. Cakes, because I call her Patty Cakes. Cakes.
Got you.
She saw my vision, bro. When I had the heel shield, we were sitting up having coffee, and I asked her what she did, and she was like import export. And again, me knowing what I needed, I was, hey, you know what? I got this idea. She was like, we can put it together. Come over to the office. Let's put it together, and walk me through every step, bro. When we first sat down and drew up the deal, she said, it's not going to look like this in the end. So that product that you have, it didn't start off like that.
Yeah.
It started off like an octopus. It wrapped around the mat. It had Velcro straps. You know what I'm saying? It looked like, an octopus. And she said, it's not going to look like this because it's going to evolve through us creating, taught me how to manipulate the industry. And what I mean by manipulate the industry is pit them against each other. Excuse me. To where you can get the best price. Hey, put this here. They're going to bid on it. And they don't even know they're bidding on it. That's what this price is. This is what the price is. We don't have to go back and forth. We'll take the lower price. Just in general life, great mom. She's doing it by herself. You know what I'm saying? She's always been cool, always an ear for me, always positive. And that's a strong, it's a strong person. It has a lot of influence in, my business stuff, helped me get my corporate stuff together.
Cool.
It's, a business partner that you will want, that you trust.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't trust people no more.
That part. Oh, man. I just had a shout out to Connie Leva. She's the executive director of KVCR.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the importance of hiring people that you can trust. Right? And that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah.
Another question I wanted to get to is, what's one of your least and favorite things about comedy and the comedy scene?
Oh, my least favorite thing about the comedy scene is, I think it's because I'm older. Everybody's on.
Can you explain?
Like me and you we're eating lunch.
Okay.
Instead of us just eating lunch and having conversation about the food or something like that, they're trying to tell you a joke.
They can't enjoy the moment.
Everybody is on, bro. Only thing me personally, I can attest it, and I can't say for everybody else because I produce shows. So people want to be funny. So, oh, you know what? Let me put him on this show. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's on, man. And we get tired of that. I mean, they should, comics, should. And I consider myself a comic, but they know I produce shows. So I've been producing shows a long time too. So, they might think I'm just more of a producer. It depends on what you feel about, comedy. But I just hate that they're on so much now,
Can't just have a normal human interaction.
Nah. Every conversation has to have a punchline. That's why I said it goes back to what my homeboy said. I'm a comedian, not a clown. When are you a person?
Yeah. When can we just be genuine with one another?
Yeah. Man, I'm about to get fired from this job tomorrow because I stayed up all night and I overslept. Talk some real. I don't want to hear the joke. I'm making up this new joke about, make up a new joke about being real. But that's, again, that's the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
They feel like they have to be on to get on.
Yeah. I guess it goes back to like that person like looking for that opportunity.
Yeah.
And what's the thin line between
begging and trying to be on? That's real. But it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
It's how I'm feeling that day. If I'm producing a show and you in my DM, hey man, put me on the show. I'm kind of, if I'm in that mode that I'm not creating, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I guess it's also etiquette too. Like there's some type of
Well,
etiquette and composure that you have to do it.
No, they can do it nice too.
Yeah.
But you tired of seeing a nice letter. So, I mean, it's all up to beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. Yep. Me personally, like, I reached out to, I think Trendy at one time, and I was like, the way it is, I just give people breathing room because you never know what people are busy.
You don't know what they're going through.
Yeah, you know
either.
what people are going through. So like, if I'm trying to connect with someone, like I'll just reach out, and I'll like if I don't hear from them, I'll let it sit because you never know. People are busy. People are going through things. People are taking care of business, their work. Maybe they'll get back to you. Let it sit for a little bit, and then just reach out again later.
Let me tell you this though.
Yeah,
Everybody is on their phone.
I know, but you may not be a priority in their life.
I know that, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So
Yeah.
don't think they didn't see it.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart sees it.
Mm-hmm. I actually got a response from Kevin Hart years ago. That was so interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was super cool.
So that's the whole point. You know, it's relationships that I'm cultivating right now that they don't even know. I have the pitch and everything right in my pocket.
Got you. Pitch for a movie? Pitch for
whatever.
Whatever they need.
Whatever they need.
Got you.
Worldwide.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's reminding me because I was so happy when I got a message back from Kevin Hart and a follow. I think he unfollows me now, but and I'll break this to the audience. I was inspired to make a movie called Twins 2.
Okay.
Part 2 of Twins, right? And this is, I think, maybe about 5-6 years ago I wrote this. And basically it's, if we're familiar with the original movie Twins, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
And so I was like, it'd be great to make a Twins 2 remake, but with Kevin Hart, starring Kevin Hart and Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, I thought you was going to say in The Rock, because if you'd have said The Rock, he'd have jumped right on it.
The Rock I have The Rock assigned for a different character in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have him in there, though.
Yeah, he's in the
and
movie.
it's so funny you say that.
Yeah. So, but the dichotomy between Shaq and Kevin is so huge. It'd be perfectly right.
Yeah.
And then I wrote the script to be like, in that essence where we also bring homage to bringing Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the movie as well, just like a scene or something like that. But I remember I sent it out to him and we talked and I was like, oh, but anyway, forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, reaching out to people. So just reminded me of that.
No, it's good. We so I actually cornered him.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Got you.
My cousin is his barber.
Okay.
Yeah, so he has he had an event called Heartbeat Weekend.
Okay.
So most of the comics that they like in their circle, they bring out. He does shows. Drake, Dave Chappelle. It's just a big weekend. So we were sitting. So I'm there with my cousin, and we sitting over there. We drinking and chilling and stuff. And he had just came out with the series Heart of the City, season 1 and 2. And the last episode on season 2 was Tacoma, Washington. And one of my buddies was on that episode. So when I saw him, I cornered him. I said, hey, bro, you doing a season 3? He said, oh, I don't know, I may. I said, if you do a season 3, I need season 3. I need season 3 San Diego. I said, you got Tacoma on there and you don't have San Diego?
Explain.
And he was like, Adee, you ain't even from San Diego. I said, but I do comedy down there. And San Diego is more, you're not doing LA. I already know you're not. So do San Diego.
Yeah, it's a good market.
Well, talk to Joey. Talk to Joey. We got it done.
Who's Joey?
Joey is his close friend, Joey Wells.
Okay.
Talk to Joey, because I guess Joey was one of the EPs on it.
Okay.
So talk to Joey, you know what I'm saying, got that done. Saw him again. Pitched the new Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
What is this? Chris Brown is the Scarecrow. Alicia Keys is Dorothy.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg is the Cowardly Lion. No, Ruben Studdard was the Cowardly Lion.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg was the Tin Man, always smoking.
Okay.
Lil Wayne, Lil Jon was the Flying Monkeys.
Okay.
You have a, different cast. Bad Witch was Monique.
Okay.
Good Witch was Mariah.
Okay.
Now we get to the Wiz. Do I do Kev or do I do Mike Epps? So I'm pitching this to Kev, so I have to, of course, it's Kev, but it makes it more feasible because Kev is little. You know what I'm saying? He's a smaller guy. Big personality, the Wiz.
Very.
awesome, Adee. Where you gonna get this budget from?
Great question. I thought
Dead.
Heartbeat Productions would.
Dead. I mean, at that point, Heartbeat hadn't formed like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was before my time.
Okay.
I have about 4 or 5 of them stacked.
Okay.
Anthony Stone actually is writing on me with one right now. So, you got to be ready though, because you never know.
Yeah.
I might pop in and be. I was sitting next to. I popped into Starbucks and met. What's the Marvel guy?
Which one? What was his character?
Stan Lee.
Okay. The creator.
We having coffee. I look out and say, wait a minute. This Stan Lee. We in San Diego. I'm getting ready to drive back here. He in Claremont Mesa. Laughing, talking to him, take a picture, get up out of there. But I didn't have nothing for him. But hey, let me get a picture. But if I had the Black X-Men or, the little kid or that turned into, then you listening.
Yeah.
But if you don't speak their language or you don't have nothing that's interesting, you gotta keep it on you, man.
In the tank. Yeah. Oh man, this reminds me of like the tables turning in this aspect. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
About how people are always in your DMs and now
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, the tables have turned.
It
reminds me, I remember I met Sway and Andre 3000 in the airport at the same time.
Okay.
And I remember I was with my mom at the time, and I was like, I remember before I left, I was like, I was like, God, if I should keep doing this music thing or whatever, give me a sign. And I was in the airport terminal, our plane got delayed, and I see someone walking by with a bassoon on their back or a bass clarinet.
Yeah.
And I was like, I went up to him and I was like, you look like Andre 3000. And he was like, oh,
wow.
He was like,
yeah.
And so I was like, cool, I was like, dope. And I went to go with my mom and I was like, you know what, Mom, I want to take a picture with him. I have to take a picture with this guy. He's like, he was my top favorite rapper of all time, one of my tops. And so I went to go back to him, take a picture with him. And then as I'm walking towards him, Sway is coming down the other direction as Andre 3000 is walking up. And I'm like, wow. And I sit down, I talk to Sway and Andre as they meet. And Sway's like, I never go through this airport terminal, but for some reason I had to come through this way because my flight got canceled. And I was like, wow, it must be destiny. And I was like, I do some hip hop stuff. And he's like, well, do you have any, or I do music. And he's like, well, do you have anything to show?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't. And then after I was done talking and took a picture with these two gentlemen, everyone realized who I was with, and then they just got bombarded.
They got bombarded.
You already know, right?
Yeah.
So about being ready, being always ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how long ago that was, but now you have so much social media and so much digital.
Yeah.
I can send them anything right now, but I have to make it interesting for them to grab it right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be hustle and flow and your tape is in the pisser.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you sour on the whole game.
That part. And smelly.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you have to be ready to shoot your shot, bro. You know, every time you practice every day, you may not get in the game. But when you get in the game, you want to know that you are prepared.
Yeah.
Because once the coach knows that you prepared like that, he looks at you totally different.
Yep. Very true.
So that's the whole point. Be prepared. Even if your shit is not together, be semi-prepared, because you can spot talent off of an unfinished product.
Just have something.
Just have something, man.
Yeah. I love that.
I got a call this morning. Again, the connections and who basketball has been so, and I don't want to say basketball as far as. I
was going to ask you a question about basketball.
Yeah, as far basketball is, I am so not known for basketball anymore. But I was one of the top basketball prospects in my in my era.
Okay.
So all the guys that ball know me. You know what I'm saying? If you are in the game and you a baller, you know me. You know what I'm saying? The new kids don't know me and blah, blah, blah. But I have tape to show them. They be like, oh, you did that to Baron Davis? Oh, you did that to so-and-so? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's, you played with Ed O'Banning? You played with the O'Banning brothers? You played against Kobe? You know what I'm saying? So you have all that stuff. But again, me being a comedian and out there going, now these guys need stuff. Hey, can you host this? Can you do that? I get a call this morning from one of the biggest youth basketball leagues, Real Run. Hey, bro, I need you to let's work this year. I need something for the kids. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Again, these are the opportunities that you've afforded yourself. Me just being a comedian wasn't gonna get that, right? Because they could have picked somebody
else. Yeah. Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way. There's a reason you mentioned this, though. There's a reason why you mentioned that.
Just not staying in your lane.
Okay.
And being able to be many realms.
Okay.
There's probably some other comedians that were good basketball players. How are you using it?
Mm-hmm. Are you using it?
Are you using it? I did a podcast for the Comedy Store, and they have a gentleman there that was the host, and I was telling him about he was asking me about the Cal Dental stuff, and he has his life insurance license. He has 45,000 followers. I said, bro, I looked at your page. I don't see shit about life insurance on here. Oh, I don't want that to water down my comedy. The fuck?
Hello?
You done went through all this and you ain't sold a policy? Not even $100 policy? You mean to tell me you can't sell 100 policies to your 45,000 followers?
Yeah.
Somebody hustling backwards.
Yeah, you're not using your brand properly.
No.
You're not using your personal brand properly.
No. Oh, I don't want to mix them. Well, bro, you don't want to make no money either.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you worried about the look.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, and because I've been talking a lot to other people about how much your personal brand affects the other brands that you're associated with.
Yeah.
And smart people know how to leverage their personal brand to bring in money for their other brand.
That part.
And so it's unfortunate about that gentleman, what he said.
Yeah.
What did I wanted to say? Oh, well, yeah, might as well. We talked about one of your least favorite things about comedy and the comedy scene. What's one of your favorite things about the comedy and comedy scene?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't dig the comedy scene. I'm
Why?
a mature guy. Like I said, my life experiences don't mirror theirs. So a lot of the flash and the glitz and where they're trying to get to, a lot of respect isn't there.
Really?
Yeah, what I mean by that is
Wow.
everybody's trying to get past the gatekeeper.
Got you.
It's a race.
The rat race.
The rat race. Comedy is the rat race. So I don't like that about it. And I'm a personable type of guy. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't like Stone.
Period.
I hadn't met you.
Period.
So why would I come do a podcast that I've never watched or anything like that? It's the relationships.
Period.
So a lot of times, if I'm somewhere now, I'll cultivate the relationship.
Yeah. Hopefully you haven't regretted coming through.
I love it. But this is the thing. Now when I post it or shoot it, now somebody will be like, hey, who run that? That's the put me on. Who booked that show? Put me on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's how you cut up the clips and how you put it out there, because that's the visuals. People want the visuals. People want the interview. But you have to have the right interviewee. You know what I'm saying? So when you can get somebody that asks you some solid questions, usually I won't come here without the interview questions. That's not who I am anymore. I can if I know you.
Yeah.
But if I don't know you, bro,
I need the free questions.
I need the free questions. You got to
Yeah.
let me know what's going on.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
So Anthony Stone put a lot of faith in you coming out here, like,
bro,
free balling like that.
bro,
Free balling.
yeah. Absolutely. No pun.
Yeah.
Like I said, Stone said something is a law for me.
Okay.
That's my guy. He knows. I done got Stone hotels. You know what I'm saying? That's my family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for him to say, hey, go pull up over there, that's a good dude. Hey, just second, hey, let's just get the date right.
Okay.
Let me see what's going on, and let's get the date right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said, he knows what my network is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing for me to say, oh no, I had a blast with old boy.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go check out Antonio's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where he at? He in the Dino. Go over there and mess with the Dino.
Yeah.
I may do a camp or something and you can pull up. Jaden Daniels is my guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
We gonna get you on here, Jaden. We're gonna get you on here.
You already know. He gonna put that in the air. You might not be here, but he may take it to you somewhere else. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the part. Being in that position. Now I got him in there. Everybody wants to get in. Who getting in? You.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get in there?
I put the work in.
I put the work in.
Yeah.
I met with somebody that knew somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That was a strong influence, not just a yapper. I'm not a yapper. When I say something or I say I'm going to do something, that's what I do.
Yeah, word is bond.
That's all you got. I may fall short on something,
Yeah.
but you're going to be like, he tried.
And there it is.
It didn't work. Hey,
I'd rather have someone try my favorite than not try at all.
Come on, man. That's why I say if I'm in the room, you in the room.
I love that. How's your Achilles doing?
Good. Blew my Achilles out, man, in the 50 and over basketball league.
Yeah. Are you still playing basketball? And it's a two-part question. And is the NBA still as entertaining as it was 10 years ago?
So I came back. This is my first season back from my Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually still attentive of it.
Okay.
It hasn't released where I can just go. So a lot of my game has changed because of the awareness, and I'm using it as a crutch.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to the championship. We just lost Sunday. We lost 60-64. Was close.
Mm-hmm.
I was not impactful at all. Just being honest, bro.
Hey, I love it.
I was not impactful at all.
Okay.
I did not stir. I didn't move the needle at all.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was supportive,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't move the needle like I usually do at all.
Mm-hmm.
I love the game. I've been playing it since I was 3 or 4. The NBA is trash.
Got you.
I'm a big Knicks fan, of course, so I'm happy. I'm watching now because we're better, but I can't watch the other games because it's too much European basketball being played. And people feel, well, what do you mean Euro? I said, bro, Eurostep that's traveling. We've been playing basketball for many years. Those are 3 steps. 3 steps, whether you gather the ball or whatever, that's a travel. A step back, a jump, that's a travel. That's up and down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you can call it what you want. NBA wants more points. That's leading more to the Euro League. Oh, LeBron James is a flopper. They are floppers. Yeah, it evolved from the European League. Vlade Divac, European basketball player. You could touch Vlade fall flopping. Luka, flopper. Jalen Brunson from my Knicks, flopper. He learned it from Luka. Where does the flopping come in at? Soccer. Soccer's been flopping for years.
Yeah.
So most European basketball players, what did they start off playing? Soccer. They evolved to basketball. So now you're getting good in basketball because you're in these academies. You don't go to school. You're not hungry. That's like us going to the park every day, all day, getting free food, free shoes, and all we do is play basketball.
Wow, what a dream.
What will we be?
Pretty
We
damn
already
good.
unstoppable.
Pretty damn good.
We be invincible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that plays a factor into it. And the European aspect of basketball is taking over. So you get the flopping, you get the higher points, you get the traveling because they don't like the lockdown Knicks and Bulls. They don't want one person dribbling the ball out, you know what I'm saying? They don't want that type of physical play anymore. So that's why the numbers have dropped. It's a lot of others playing. So
Yeah.
I think that has to do with the decline. Not saying they're not skilled, but people are used to watching basketball a certain way.
Yeah.
They're all white people in NFL. All over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the quarterbacks. Now we got 4 white receivers, 4 white cornerbacks.
Linemen.
Linemen. Well, they stay linemen, offensive linemen. They great at that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, once you change the culture, then you change the watch radius.
Gotcha.
You know?
And that makes me think, so NBA is trash.
NBA is trash, bro.
Gotcha. So
I can't watch it until playoffs.
Okay.
Really.
Which we're in
unless
right now.
Unless I watch my team. And fortunately for me, my team has been good all year.
Hey.
And in the playoffs.
So you're enjoying yourself
I'm
right now?
enjoying myself right now.
Okay.
You know?
So it makes me think of 2 things. The first thing was I started thinking about James Harden when he said the Euro step, because I remember he used to be famous for doing the Euro step, right? And then I was listening to someone, I think it was CGA, Coach, shout out to you, Coach Greg Adams, and he was saying one of the reasons why the NBA is declining in sales and viewership is because they're bringing a lot of people from Europe into the NBA, and Americans are not able to relate to these personalities and to these people. And so, and it's obvious, like you're saying, changing the game as well. So I don't know, do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the thing is, we have to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, are we picking them because they're better players? Or are we picking them because we want to change the culture of the game? Because I know Luka's good, but it's a couple cats that do the same thing.
Yeah. What's your opinion on it?
It's the culture of the game. We trying to
Change
we don't want it defensive. We don't want 87 to 97 points.
Mm-hmm.
We want 140 points where it's 1 million basket scores. All we shooting is threes now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's no strategy. It's what do they call it? It's analytics now. 4 threes against 4 twos. If you hit 2 threes, it's more than 2 twos. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the analytics now. You know, so now the kids aren't really, they're skilled, but they're not skilled. You know, it's I don't want to say it's making the game easier. It's just the game is, I don't want to say it's evolved because it has, but half of it, the evolve is because you're calling fouls now and you're not calling fouls.
Okay.
So you have to look at it in that whole totality. You can't say, okay, this is what it was or blah, blah, blah. No, bro, the European game is infiltrated.
Yes.
You know, like I told you where it started from. It started in soccer.
Yeah.
We trying to make soccer so big here. We're force feeding it.
Oh, interesting.
Aren't we force feeding it?
I'm not sure. Give us enlighten, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not aware, but enlighten us. Enlighten us.
It's more soccer fields than football fields.
Currently,
it's more soccer fields than pretty much basketball fields. You know,
well, soccer is worldwide, right?
It is worldwide, but it's not United States culture based. You know?
Good point. Good point. And the last thing I want to say about the basketball thing, I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he was saying the same thing about he's seeing the fall of NBA.
Yeah.
And he was saying he has a beef or a gripe with the referees. He said the referees have too much power now. They're calling too many things. I don't know. Do you?
Well,
I haven't been watching the game too much.
I'm gonna be honest with you. These games, they've been good.
Okay.
But when you stay away and let the game play, it gets violent. And people are scared of violence.
Okay. They don't want a meta universe incident.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's bad for the brand. But it's okay to fight in hockey.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, watch everybody standing around. Take off the gloves.
Yeah, it's like part of the culture.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
You know? But hockey not doing numbers, is it? It's not known to do numbers.
Yeah, I don't know.
So if we doing numbers, we don't want to go down to hockey's numbers.
Yeah, but when people watch the drama, if it happens,
that's what we do. But you're scared of defacing the franchise. You know, now it's the nothing but, you know, assholes league now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a give and take. I like the way the refs are calling these games.
Okay.
From the games that I've watched, they're letting them play. So we have some hope.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, Euro's taken. Euro's coming,
It's
bro.
taking over.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. The last thing I want to mention about this is that going back to like old school basketball player, I saw a beautiful picture, and it was Dr. J and Larry Bird, and they had each other by the throat.
Fighting. I remember the fight.
They had each other by the throat, and I was like, that's an
iconic picture, bro.
Yeah.
I might have to get that and put it on a T-shirt.
It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
yeah,
historic picture.
Yeah, historic picture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they respect each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, you know, we can't get into a fight and not respect each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I may not like you, but I have to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and time heals everything.
Yeah, time heals
all
wounds.
Yeah, you know what we were fighting about at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We're not fighting about that now.
No.
You know, now they got us doing a Converse commercial together because that was our brand.
Period. Let's go golfing after.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go golfing after.
Because they're going to follow, see if we're going to fight again. It's been 50 years, bro.
Yeah. Let's get paid off of it.
Absolutely. I'll challenge you to a fight. I'll be like, oh, here we go.
Right.
Bro, don't nobody want to see, you know, I might want to see two old guys fighting.
Right.
That'll be good.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Diaper might fall out.
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I went onto your YouTube channel, and I was seeing, I was like...
Horrible. Because, again, that's not my get down.
Got you, yeah.
You know, I've watched Stone has built his. He's been
building it.
He's building it. He's going. He has a formula. I have no formula.
Got you. Oh, matter of fact, Stone, we're still holding you well, actually, I'll come back to that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, we good. Yeah.
But the question that I was leading to was, is there a comedy special coming up in the works? Is there a thought of a comedy special, doing a comedy special?
Bro, I should be thinking about that. I'm well versed in the game. I should at least have one.
Yeah.
At least a 30-minute.
Yeah.
You know, I have hours of material. A lot of times we don't use them all based upon, you know, I have 1 million clothes, but I have a couple jeans that I like, couple jackets that I like, you know. And Cat Williams told me one time, because people, you got to keep writing, you got to be consistently writing and stuff like that. I understand that. So I was with Cat at San Manuel, and after the show, I said, hey, man, I'm glad you did a new set. You know what I'm saying? And Cat Williams said this to me with a straight face. Why you want me to do some new jokes? Usher don't sing no new songs when he is at a concert. I said, damn, you right.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, what he said to me, it made sense at the time. It was like, you don't ask Usher to sing no new songs. And I was like, I got you. But I'm happy you did some new ones.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
yes.
that's the whole point is getting ready. And with me, I think I'm too much of a perfectionist. So it has to be on point. And I feel like that's staged. So I might have to just start filming and put together a Mickey Mouse one just for my enjoyment to say that I completed something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because if I go up thinking it's a special, I feel like I'm tense.
Can I give my opinion?
Absolutely, you can. I love opinions.
Remember we were talking about having something ready, even if it's not fully prepared and fully where you like it?
Absolutely.
Can we do the same thing with the full comedy special, Adee special, which is it may not be perfect like what you want it, but at least we have a full, authentic 30-minute set, at least.
We can.
Can we do that?
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, and that's true. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, I am a comedian, and people want to see that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's more of the fear of critique.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
But we should never live life or move in in
because
fear.
I don't even move like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So why would I, be worried about? My thing is just having it shot the way I want it shot, and I don't think that I can afford that. Because I have a vision for one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have the name for it. I have everything. I just have yet to move forward with it in production.
Well, maybe we can start from a point and get to the later vision.
That's right.
Start
That's
somewhere
right.
and get to the bigger one.
I think we should.
Yes.
And I like that because it's holding myself accountable for it.
Yeah.
If you don't speak it, it'll never come.
Gotcha. And maybe we can do it this year.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because time waits for no man. So we might as well get it done this year.
At all.
And this brings me back to you, Anthony Stone. You promised you're going to get yours out in October. So we didn't forget.
Oh.
We didn't forget.
Don't worry about it, Stone. I'm going to jump on there with you.
Yeah.
I like to produce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we got Adee out too. Can we throw a month out there?
Ooh.
December's calling my name right now in my mind for you.
December is good. December is my birthday.
Yeah, it's calling my mind. December's calling my mind.
Yep. Welcome to Hollywatts.
You already got
December 5th, my birthday.
Let's do it.
I'm putting that down. He just spoke it into existence. Tonyo!
Oh! That's what we do here on the Empire. That's what we do here on the Empire.
Absolutely.
Can you talk, since we've been hanging out with each other today, you've mentioned your daughters so many times.
Yes.
Right? I can tell that they're really big in your life. So how has family and fatherhood been for you, and how has it affected your art and your career path?
Oh, bro. The family dynamics in life is different. I have 3 kids. My son is 37.
Mm-hmm.
My middle daughter is 27. And my youngest is 22. And everybody's relationship is different with their kids. And mine is the same. The youngest one is more, we're involved,
Mm-hmm.
She's a rap artist. Well, she's stepping back from rap because she's making so much money, in her sales career now.
Shout out.
But we did all of the Stan Healy, is it Sean Healy? I think it's she's been one of the new up and coming rappers. She's featured for SZA. She's did the halftime at the Drew League. I've put her in great positions to win, and it just didn't catch. And I just think she's making so much money now in her other field. It's hard to go back to the struggle.
Is this Chanel we're talking about?
It's Chanel.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and Stone knows her. Stone knows her and loves her. She knows Stone. So it's just different having the dynamics with kids. My middle daughter, me and her battle.
Mm-hmm.
We tit for tat. We fight. Right now we're at a little odds.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm slowly reaching out and keeping pride out of it. You know what I'm saying? My son, he's battling some injuries from football. So we chat. We go back and forth. I actually got him some aligners and stuff for his grill. So it's always a working process, being a dad, especially if the kids aren't with you. People don't understand that. It's different when you're an in-house dad and you're an out-house dad.
A big
because
difference.
A lot of times if you're an outhouse dad, you probably be in the outhouse a lot. And you know what that means, you in the shitter. So, you just got to keep the relationships open and be able to parent. And to be honest with you, you have to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, because you can't tell them something and don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That's why I told you we go back to the Chris Rock situation. I can't tell you to defend yourself and then don't defend myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna lose some brownie points in there. Because you're at that age. So the dynamic is good though. My like I said, the youngest is the closest to me.
Got you.
Because I think she's still young, but she's drifting apart from me now too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When you get 22, like she came in this weekend, I saw her 30 minutes. But you came home. But again, I was working. She had agenda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you look at it that way. But just as a dad, for me to have her in the house is electric.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing, bro. So yeah, being a parent is
no joke.
No joke.
Especially one that's in the outhouse, as you say.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's you're not there every day hands on.
Yeah, and it's and a shout out to you because I know it's challenging because you're fighting against forces that may be going against you. That's out of your control. You don't know what people are saying about you. And so shout out to you for being consistent and always there and always like
Listen,
representing.
Even if you don't think I'm there, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because people can paint a picture, but don't know if you pick up the phone, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? If you call me, hey, Dad is coming. I don't care what we did or what the argument is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just that's why I appreciate Stone so much.
Mm.
You know, because he dropped babies like albums.
Hello. Shout out to you, Stone. What is he, like 5 for 5 with
Yeah,
the boys?
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, but again, that's what you as an adult or a man, you can mimic things about everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If I see something new, I can create my mixtape off of you, bro.
Mm.
You got to be able to grab those pieces and see where you're weak at and be like, oh,
Yeah.
As a dad, you have to.
True. And I can tell, I knew that you really have genuine love for your daughter because in your bio, the link is to her link tree.
Come on.
It's not even your link tree. That says a lot because if we're talking about business and making money, you would think it would be to all the AD worldwide stuff. But no, it's like, this is to my baby girl stuff.
Yeah.
To make sure she gets on.
Absolutely.
That's the proof's in the pudding. The proof's in the pudding.
And this is the thing. You're not going to push yourself as hard as I'm going to push you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're harder on yourself, but you're not going to push yourself. You just made me put a date I have to follow up with.
What was the date?
December 5th, my birthday.
Okay.
So again, somebody else can give you that motivation and that nudge,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm everywhere. So if somebody looks in my group, they're like, oh shit, who is this rapping? Now we moving, it's some traction.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't rap no more. Cause she at the point now, she was like, Dad, I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, you just don't want that bug again. That's what it is. You making money over here and you don't want to, let go of the money.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that too.
Yeah. Obviously you're a girl dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you teach your daughters or train your daughters, or have they come to you like when they're interested in boys? Like how does that dynamic work? How do you protect
I'm the worst, bro.
Okay.
and the thing is, I don't bash dudes.
Okay.
If you hear a couple lines in her raps, I've given them to her.
For example?
Niggas ain't even good at Madden. You know what I'm saying? So how are you going to be a good dude? You ain't even good at Madden, and you play this every day.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell her, niggas don't know what shoes they wearing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So you putting a lot of faith in a motherfucker that don't know what he going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be prepared for the mistakes. You can see the suckers. I done taught you the suckers.
Yeah.
I've opened the door for you all your life. I'll cut up your food. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be able to tell you who move in a certain way. And if you come to me about a dude crying, I'm like, okay, then what does he have to offer?
Yeah.
Well, I love him. Okay, you love him. He work at UPS. You making $85,000 a year at 20 years old. All he going to do is be able to help you move.
Hello.
And it's not knocking him, but I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Yeah.
Do you see him trying to be the manager?
Yeah, is he ambitious?
Of U-Haul? Is he ambitious?
Mm-hmm.
Or is he just folding boxes to make enough to buy some weed?
There we go.
So it's hard to game him. So when you go talk to my daughter, you got to be me.
Yeah.
You got to be able to game her. You got to sell her some dreams.
Uh-oh. Don't sell girls' dreams, gentlemen. Don't do it.
But that's what I'm saying. If you can't sell her a dream where she can visualize what you're telling her, she's not going for it.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I brought up the question, because I think it was offline. We were talking about like some of your daughters are combative.
Yeah.
Because they know what they want. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, that means not every dude gonna get a chance. Like they're gonna really challenge some dudes out here.
They gonna challenge some dudes.
Yeah.
And you can't talk to her crazy.
Yeah.
Her dad's 6'6", 250.
Hello.
And active.
Yeah. Don't let
You
this
know what I'm
Achilles
saying?
heel fool you.
No. And at the end of the day, I'm not a bully, but I'm a stand up for my middle-aged daughter. I mean, my 27-year-old was married to a UFC champion.
Okay.
We were at a wedding dinner, and this is one of the best stories in the world. Him and his UFC buddies were in there. That Bellator, let me switch it, Bellator.
Okay.
And they were in there, laughing and talking. I feel like they weren't giving me the respect that we had at this dinner table.
Gotcha.
They talking over me and stuff like that. So I sat there, and they didn't have a fear of me. Like, I'm another nigga at this table.
Gotcha.
I'm not her dad.
Gotcha.
And I'm cool because you think you can fight? I made one phone call. And I said, these niggas in here tripping. And everybody looked at me like, what the hell? Who are you talking about? My boy was there in less than 10 minutes with the strap and the hoodie. And my daughters looked like, what are you doing here? I just want to let them know I don't play. And Chanel was like, we ain't even in L.A. I don't play with my kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
If I play with my kids, I will be in court doing burpees in front of the judge.
Hello.
He gonna be like, oh, this nigga ready to go. I don't play with my kids, bro. I play with anything else. I don't play with my kids.
Yeah. Period. Especially the girls.
The boy will kill you. He been in the NFL. He's 6'6", 252.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's again, when you a girl dad, it's different. I'm at cheer camp. I got bedazzled hoodies on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I put in that, I'm at the games and they like, oh, what number is your son? I said, no, it's my daughter, the cheerleader. They like, oh, because they looking for another dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different when you got girls.
A big difference.
Big difference.
And what you said, it reminds me of like how important respect is.
It is, man.
Because they didn't need to really fear you, but at least if they would have shown respect, that's all we need.
That's the whole deal, man.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Just show me some respect.
Yeah, it's kind of simple.
Yeah.
But
I just think that comes from, both of the guys and, that they were in their little group. They weren't from here.
Okay. Well, they learned today.
You're going to learn today,
They learned today.
Yeah, California is the city of lessons.
Enlighten us on that.
It don't matter where you from. When you come here, you going to adhere to our culture. LA cats can go live in New York. LA cats can go live in Texas.
Got you.
We don't adhere to y'all laws, bro.
It's a different breed.
It's a different breed.
Ooh.
You ain't hearing about nobody else got to check in?
Okay.
We don't check in New York?
True.
We don't check in Texas?
True. Did you ever, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you ever mention that you had a reality show with your daughter?
No, we did.
Okay.
It was called Smothered.
Okay.
On TLC.
Okay.
And it was basically about my ex-wife and my middle daughter, Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
Them hanging out together, makeup together, pictures. And me and Chanel, it was like team Sandra, which is my ex-wife, and team me. You know what I'm saying? Because they were out, they partying and going to clubs and stuff together. And I'm more like the dad, like, hey, bro, that's your daughter.
Yeah.
Y'all need to tone that down, And it was a great reality show. We had a good 4 episodes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you a man of faith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a guy of, I don't need the congregation.
Okay. Got you. If you had one question that you could ask God that God would give you an answer to, what would that question be?
Why does he let us struggle so much? And it's, again, that's my question, because I look at it like this. If I was a God and I had the power, struggle brings combativeness. Struggle brings level, struggles brings the have and the have-nots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if we're all even, we should get peace and harmony. Because we're not fighting for that. We're not. You know what I'm saying? Is if we're all the same, then if you mix all the kids, you can't be racist no more. My son's Asian, Black, and African.
Okay.
That's not the truth, but I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So now, how can I be racist to an Asian?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all. I was like, hey man, why you got us struggling so much?
Gotcha.
You know, he has an answer.
Gotcha. What do you think that answer would be?
That's why I would be asking the question.
Gotcha. Would you make an assumption? Any assumption?
Nah, I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. It's so any other thing I can kind of make an assumption on,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, bro, it almost. I'm a believer in the higher power,
Mm-hmm.
so it would contradict me to not believe that he could
Fix it.
fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. In my opinion, I guess the answer to that question is that it's the powers that be, the people who have all the wealth
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, force the struggle on those that are underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's enough wealth that it can be dispersed amongst all of us to live a fruitful life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
But why didn't he knock it down?
Free will, because humans have the free will to be greedy.
That's a great answer, because I'm like, if we gonna be even or equal, then just set the playing field like that.
Mm-hmm.
You the one that makes the rules.
Yeah, but it's the free will of the human being
that he created.
Yes,
and I'm with you, but I'm like, come on, man, you could have just, hey, man, can we get a 2.0?
That part, you can snap your fingers and everything.
Come on, man, let's you know what I'm saying? Let's get a 2.0, or give us all a turn.
Right.
You got 100 years, you got 100 years, you got 100 years, but then at the end of the day, that's not even again, because now, it's gonna be dictatorship. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But I just like, look, take all the power away. Make it even. I don't know how you could do it, but that would be my suggestion. If you want peace and harmony, I tell people will watch basketball more if they cut it down to 60 games. It's too many damn games.
It's a lot of games. Baseball
is 100 and something. Cut it down to 30 something games. I don't want to say 30 something games. Cut it down to 60 games. Everybody do 60 games.
Mm-hmm. You
know what it is. Every game means something. And that's why the NFL, nobody can watch the NFL. It's 16 games. God, give us 16 games.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I think everyone's born on an even playing field, but but with man in control and greed, I think that's what makes things go off. But I also think that nothing can ever be truly, I guess, even, because some people don't work as hard as other people. And if you want to make things even, people probably start talking about that's communism, where everyone gets the same.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Most of the people that work harder don't have it.
It's not guaranteed, because you work harder, you have more.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because the Rockefellers, they ain't working hard.
Smarter.
Because they were taught after they had already, moved. I guess because they had already worked harder. Or they were already conveniently positioned.
Yeah, make the right moves.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just was like, hey, man, just make it even so we could have peace and harmony.
Got you.
I mean, I don't crave money and fame like that. And maybe that's why I'm where I'm at and I'm not blown up. I'm healthy. I'm peaceful.
Yep.
I've been working on my violent side.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a 0 to 10 cat.
Got you. You've been working on your breathing?
I've been working on my breathing.
Okay.
I've been talking to people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we all can work on something, but I just look at it like when and I don't know exactly where you're from, but when you're from Watts, it's almost like, and you black and you You haven't been out the projects, or you don't have a person to teach you what the next move is. All you do is
Come right back.
You buffer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people in the hood's just buffering.
Mm-hmm. Buffering, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to play another game with us?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We here.
This game's called Quick Slip.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to give you a word.
Okay.
And the first thing that comes in your mind,
shoot the answer.
come right out.
Okay.
It makes sense?
Yeah.
You ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Quick Slip, here we go. Inevitable.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's thinking too long, folks.
Yeah,
first thing that comes out of mind.
Yeah.
Adee, first thing. Just go. Boom. Inevitable.
Me being successful.
Ho-hos.
Chocolate bars.
Robin Harris.
My favorite comedian.
Office Space.
Never watched it.
Life insurance.
You better have it.
Daddy's Girl.
Adee Worldwide.
Wedgie.
Tight jeans.
Wally World.
Walmart.
SNL.
Overrated.
Afterlife.
Definitely.
Joy.
Create your own.
Justice.
Power.
Obsolete.
Nothing.
Abstinence.
Never.
Ray Charles.
Underrated.
Empanadas.
Depends who make them.
Bunions.
Jordans.
Bowling.
Tough.
Browns.
Trash.
Gateway.
Make your own lane, man.
Peace.
Everybody has it.
Awesome. And that's Quick Slip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too bad, right?
No, that's good.
Yeah. Adee, we learned a lot with you today. McCovy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us one thing, and it could be anything,
Mm-hmm.
that most people don't know about you, even close friends. And it could be anything.
Ooh. I played the bass cello.
Tell us more.
I played the bass cello in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been, the orchestra and strings have always been a secret love of mine. My mom tried to get me to play the guitar. Basketball shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being pretty good in basketball early kind of stopped other opportunities for me. But I could have been a bass guitar player.
Yeah.
You know,
Or a cellist.
or a cellist. The funny part about it was, you know, that's a big machine, big instrument. So I would have to take it home. I'd walk home 4 blocks with it.
Mm-hmm. On your back, right?
I had it in like, it
On
was,
the handle?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was pretty strong, I guess, at that age. But Mexican guys used to try to stop me every Friday because I took it home for the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to buy it. Fortunately, I'm scrupulous. Well, is that, I have what is it? Fortunately, I didn't sell it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because they was coming, hey, man, let me give you 500. Let me give you 200. You know what I'm saying? I'm a kid.
Yeah.
That was good money.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the value of it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just knew I would get in trouble if I sold it. So, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cello is a beautiful instrument.
Yeah, man.
They say it's one of the closest ones to the human voice
Oh.
for the range that it carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, the range that it carries.
Yeah.
It's a very, very beautiful instrument.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because some people would say the way that you hold it, it's almost kind of like, I guess, especially for women, it's kind of like you put it like right between your legs, and
Yeah.
it's kind of really like wombish kind of thing. The way
Yeah.
you
No,
way
that
position.
is. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
never thought about it because I haven't touched it in so long,
Hmm.
but that's crazy. Um, I think the offers turned me off to go to the trumpet. So I played the trumpet after that.
Okay.
I was like, man, I guess I'm tired of carrying this, But I could have stayed in the string family. I
Yeah.
just did a show with Orchestra New York
Cool.
out of Atlanta, all orchestra group. They just played all the 90s R&B,
It's all black group, right?
all black. They pop, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I was playing one of my friends just on the humbug. My friend had a guitar on the wall, and I just was just stroking and strumming. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I might grab a guitar.
Yeah. Or maybe a
Um,
cello.
That would be deep.
Why not? I heard something recently, and someone said, you're never too old to learn anything.
No. And it's
You just,
easier now to learn.
yeah, you just have to be interested in the topic, in the
Yep.
subject.
Yep.
Yeah.
I might think of that.
Yeah. Why
Either
not?
one, I might. It got to be an instrument. Either one of those.
Yeah.
That's a classical instrument.
Yeah. The cello is beautiful. You can't go wrong with the
You
cello.
can't
Yeah. People
mess around and be a producer.
Yeah. People be surprised too, because a lot of people are like, yeah, you play guitar. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cello?
That's why even when I tell people I played the bass, they was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So that's it. Well, you got me thinking today.
Hey, that's what we do here on the Empire.
Yeah.
We go on different levels. We connect. We have a good time. We have a good time. Adee, can you tell us some current projects you're working on, whether that's personal, business, family,
man.
whatever you want to tell us about current projects?
Again, the first thing I'm gonna start working on is that comedy special for December the 5th released, Welcome to Hollywatts. So we started that here at the Empire. I have a couple events coming up that I produced. I have one with Cal Dental that I've cultivated the relationship with LA Unified School District. So we have an event this Saturday. It's a 5K. It'll probably be over 4,000 people here at this location. So I partnered up with LA Unified and Cal Dental to put that together. That'll be good for me. I'm producing another comedy show the 15th at the Stand Up in Bellflower. Just doing the comedy, dental aspect. But like I said, if you have me on any of the socials, AD Worldwide, you can see what I have coming up. You know what I'm saying? Next, could be at your school. I push any opportunity I have, bro. I try to take advantage of it.
You might see them at your local laundromat too. You never know.
Absolutely, waiting for you to finish with the dryer.
That part is too loud. Take the coins out. Take the coins out.
Yeah.
Adee, thank you so much for being on the Empire, man. Let's say 100 years pass by, 250 years pass by. What would you like your empire to look like 250 years from now?
Oh, at that point, it would have to be some sort of foundation helping people of need. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have to be big publicly. Just a place where if you needed something, or needed some food, or you needed any type of help, we will be able to help you with that.
Sweet. That's your empire.
That's the empire, bro.
I love it, man. I love it. Thank you again for being on the Empire. Can you please let everybody know how they can find you, support you, get your products, catch the shows? Can you let everybody know how they can do that?
Oh, man, you can catch me on all socials at AD Worldwide. That's for all your dental needs, all your comedy needs. I'm a entrepreneur, so you can find anything on my socials at AD Worldwide. But also for my products, the Heel Shield, which is Red Crown Products, you could go to buyheelshield.com and you could pick up one of the Heel Shields, man. Super cheap. Mother's Day, Father's Day. Take care of both of the parents. But that's where you can find me at, man.
Awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll have the links for those in the description, so that way you can just click on it and connect right there. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in and listening. I want to thank Adee. Please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Share, comment down below. If you guys like what you hear and you really like the work and stuff like that, you guys can support us through Cash App, which is $THEE Empire Podcast. We also have Venmo, PayPal, all the things in the description. We also have merch, books, things like that. All of it helps to keep this work going because we love what we do and it's just fun doing this work. And is there anything else, Adee, you want to say before we get out of here?
No, man. I appreciate what you're doing. Love the podcast. I watched it with Anthony Stone. That's why I was a big fan. If you have any needs or you see where I can help you, you make sure you reach out to me, bro. Because I want you to be successful. This is a platform that we do need. And if you are watching, if you know somebody you want to see on the podcast, shout it out. Ask them, hey, I want to see this person. And if he can do it, he will. But at the end of the day, your involvement makes this continuously moving. And that's the point. When you get people involved and they like the product, I wrote in to Oprah, I wanted to see Magic Johnson on there. I don't think it happened because of me, but that was me reaching out saying, hey, I want to ask Magic some of these questions that because we can't ask these people. But if you put them on the podcast or put them in a position, you ask pertinent questions, which are awesome, and we get a little bit more insight on the person.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, comment down below. We'll have all our connections down there. And anything else, Adee?
That's it, bro.
That's it. All right, you guys. We'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Good?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll take it for you.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
That's gangster. I like that.